Podcast League now. Starring the Casablanca Kid. He turns good taste into bad. Movie hero. He has a stutter, but he's smooth like butter. And Pez, with the ability to Pez.
And me, I'm here too.
Hey, yeah, and Jacob Barber.
And Jacob Barber.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
As I kind of title, I was like, yeah, whatever badass name he chooses to use.
Yeah, right. Yeah, we're still gonna give Jacob a nickname one of these days. I think we gotta come up with something. But welcome to another episode of Podcast League. Now we are back. It's been a while since we have done one of these. We'd like to do these from time to time. We're actually trying to schedule this podcast maybe more around Chris Scott's schedule, because I know he's got a little bit of a my ever-changing schedule.
I do. My schedule is still just all over the place. No nickname.
Yeah.
Dude, and I was looking at the intro and I'm like, wow, my beard was like neat and shaped. And
I was gonna say the same thing. Mine's different. I wish we could refilm it because I've lost like 25 pounds since then, and I really want to like refilm that. My shirts don't stick out so much. So yeah, let's refilm that. And
it was good though. Like, it'd be easy to just send another clip in, and I'll just replace it. But yeah, I'm essentially your host tonight. I'm Jordan, the movie hero Anderson. But we're all kind of just hanging out. It's just a fun time. If you're unfamiliar with Podcast League now, we get the name from the Nickelodeon show. What's it called, Austin?
Action League now.
Yeah,
Action
League now. That's right. Yeah. And just a place to just kind of get to know your host, get to know your panelists a little bit, and then we like to have a little bit of like a loose kind of main topic. So so we're just kind of gonna be hanging out for about an hour and a half, 2 hours, and just have some fun. Anything's possible, so it should be a fun time. So
especially since it's live.
Yeah. But for me, just a little bit what's going on with me. It's a slow season at my work, but it's also the like drop work at the last second for Jordan season, because I'll have no work and think I have a day off, and then they'll be like, "Here's 3 jobs," and they need to be done, but by midnight tomorrow or something like that. I'm like, okay, sure. So, but it's been good. So, and actually work that I got 2 of the biggest paychecks I've ever had for my job, going into some of the smaller ones, because they kind of warn us that July is always our slowest month, and then it just slowly picks up more and more until it gets to the holidays. So I've been working on a lot of things for the channel. We're able to do things like this that I have more time for, and then I set up a Patreon, which if you're not a member of the Patreon, you can go to patreon.com/moviehero, and we have an exclusive episode actually going up after this. We're going to be doing a little tier ranker of Pixar movies, so that'll be a fun time. So they're only for exclusively if you sign up for the Patreon, and we do some other giveaways. We give away some movie posters that are some exclusive ones that I got for my time working in the movie theaters, and then you're gonna have some guaranteed spots on certain episodes of your choosing, even if it means that I have to bump someone. We'll do that for the Patreons, and then also we have some crazy tiers where if you want to create your own episode, you want to pick everyone that's going to be on the panel. We'll do any topic that you want. You sign up for those crazy, more expensive tiers, so that's up to you. But and it also really helps us out because I want to start doing some more things like some travel vlogs and like upgrade some of the equipment, maybe get more of like a studio vibe going on and like that kind of thing. So that really helps us out. So you can also sign up just because you like us and you want to support us. So, but yeah, have you guys been? Maybe we'll go to Chris because you haven't been on in a minute.
Yeah, I haven't been on in a minute. My schedule has just sucked. I know you guys have done a couple episodes, obviously since I wasn't able to be on.
Yeah.
As you said, I've kind of been working a bunch. Just celebrated my wife's birthday this past week. Well,
yeah.
So it would have been 2 weeks ago now. It was the 15th.
You guys went over to the anniversary,
but it was a lot of fun. Yeah, we went
stuff?
to we stayed at the Anniversary Inn, which is a really cool place. They have like cool themed rooms, pretty legit like breakfast. But we went to the Record Exchange, which is a cool local record store, and they have like movies. They have like pop things. They have records. They have all kinds of cool like horror memorabilia and everything else you kind of think of. So it's pretty dope.
Nice.
And I picked up one of my favorite albums is from Cake, Fashion Nugget. I found that on vinyl because apparently it was the first time that has ever been dropped on vinyl. So I was excited to find that. And one of my favorite band is Queensryche. And the lead singer of that dropped, one of his first solo albums, Kings and Thieves. That apparently also was a first release on vinyl. And I wish I could have picked up a lot more. But one of the cool things I picked up, I've been kind of wanting this for a while, is the Leprechaun Complete Collection. Although I was informed that it does not have the latest one on there. I love those movies. They're a hell of a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I recently picked up the Dick Tracy movie.
It doesn't have it.
Yeah.
Yes, it does not. Exactly. It does
He's
not.
got it too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And sorry. I love this movie.
I was going to say,
place in my heart. Yeah.
Yeah. I was going to say, you were mentioning to me that one of your friends from work gave you something from like Lost or something like that. Didn't you get like something?
Yes. So I can't really unroll it because it's not really easy to go together. Yeah. But I got Dick Tracy, and then I got Krampus.
Okay.
Freaking love this movie so much. Finally saw it last year. But so one of my regulars, he works on a reality show called Outlaw Truckers for Discovery Plus. He does production on it and filming. Well, he was a script writer on the show Lost, and we were talking, and I was like, "Oh, do you possibly keep anything?" He's like, "Yeah, I probably have a prescription script or whatever for the show." And he finally caught up with me. He said, "I'll be right back." Well, he brought me in a blueprint and kind of unrolled it, and it clearly says Lost on there, and it's actually a architect blueprint for one of the sets of the show Lost. And he worked on seasons 1 and 2, and in the Rockstar flashback, that was him. So he plays.
The one with Charlie.
Yeah. So pretty cool. And also for the original concept drawing for Dharma, which is a huge part of that show, he gave me that. Which, of course, these are things you're only going to get if you know somebody.
Nice. Cool. Yeah, it's always fun to have those connections, So
definitely.
Yeah. Well,
glad to be on. Well,
yeah. Well, Jacob, this is your first time here. I don't know if you got anything new. I know you went through a bit of maybe not having a job, going back to your old job, luckily. So that's cool.
Yeah. That was a thing.
Yeah.
No, it was definitely leading up to me just quitting, because that's what happened. I quit and walked out.
Okay.
Yeah. Mid shift, just left.
Wow.
Yeah. No, it wasn't good. But I had just been having a really rough 2-3 weeks leading up to the day I quit. It was just I was sick. I was stressing myself out just with everything else going on outside of work. I was letting the stress get to me. I just was not in a good place mentally, or physically. But then again, I'm never in a good place physically. So.
You speak for all of us. Maybe we'll do some me too.
Which is weird because I chase around kids for a living, but whatever. It hasn't shown yet. But no, I just things were not going my way, and I made the hasty decision. I went in to talk to my boss. There was just some things at work that was this is going on, blah blah. And she's like, we exchanged some words, and I was like, well, you know what? No, I'm done. I'm not enjoying this. I'm leaving. And she's like,
yeah,
fine. Oh, look, our friends are here. Our friends are here.
Hey,
They're here.
Oh yeah,
They wanted to do my job.
little porn bots. Yeah.
Actually, I'll take the porn bots over the Nazi bots.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I left, and I took a couple days. Talked to a friend who's the youth pastor at the church I attend. And at that point, so that was like 7 weeks ago now, 6 weeks ago, something like that. And at that point, I was ready to move on. I was also being hounded about going back to school, and I'm like, I'm not sure if I want to, because for my field in childcare, by 2025, I believe you have to have a degree or a certificate in order to work in childcare.
Oh wow.
I don't know if that's gonna stick because I'm pretty sure only like 3 people at my job have it. And so like
might not
half of our employees, if we don't do it, like half of our employees are gone.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We'll see what happens there. But yeah, no, I quit and I left, and I thought I was done. About a week, 2 weeks go by, and I essentially get hired on at a fast food restaurant, which is like desperation for me because like I'm not against working in fast food, but it's not something I want to do. And if I'm not happy doing something, then like, let's be honest, if none of us are happy doing something, then we don't want to do it, and we're not gonna.
Right.
Yeah, and it's gonna show. Like it can show, like in the attitude and stuff.
Oh,
yeah.
So, but they needed a copy of my food handler's card, which I don't just keep on me. So I went to the child care center I worked at to get the copy. And it was, keep in mind, I'd been there for 4 years. Like it'll be 4 years this month. So I went in, visited the classrooms because our boss wasn't there at the time. So I went in and talked with the kids because I ride the bus and I have to wait for it to come back. And I just realized, no, I kind of still want to be here. I kind of like it. I kind of miss the kids. Talked to my boss.
To what else is out there? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Talked to my boss. She apologized. I apologized, which she didn't have to apologize. Like she honestly did nothing. Like I let my attitude and my mental like get in the way and just like made this hasty decision to, walk out of my job. And so the fact that she even entertained the idea of me coming back is amazing because she didn't have to. I actually just went back 2 weeks ago just because, she had hired new people, but, and so I was finally able to go back, and it's been good. I really enjoy what I do. I mean, I've worked with kids for 12 years now, and if you would have told me after high school that I would be working with kids and liking it, I would have called you crazy.
Yeah.
Because
well, that's kind of how I fell into being a CNA. I was a CNA for about 10 years, and like after high school, just looking for work, and I saw this ad for a nursing home that said that they would pay for all your CNA training, your tuition, your classes, that do all your clinicals right on site. And I'm like, that sounds pretty good. Like they're gonna pay for all that. Like I want to give this a shot. And I really liked it. It's just that like after 10 years, I like barely had moved up like a small amount on the totem pole, and so like I was still like kind of the certified butt wiper in the old folks home, and I was like I don't want to do this like long term. Like I'm good. I don't want to have to keep giving old people showers and all that. You have
to be certified to wipe old people's butts.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah,
well,
so
for med certification and all that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. You don't have to be certified for that because I was certified to do more than that. That's the thing, but that's all they gave me to do. So
do you have to do like hands-on training? Because that no.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. You got to do hands-on training.
Well, a little bit, yeah.
But the training though, you do with dummies though. You just do that.
Oh, that's good. Who volunteered for that?
Here's your fun historical fact of the day. There used to be, and there might still be, I don't know, they're kind of secretive about it, in the British royal family and a lot of the other royal families in England, there used to be a person that their job was called groom of the stool. You could Google this. And it was their job to wipe the queen or king's ass.
Oh, wow.
So they did not have to do it themselves. This is real. Google groom of the stool. Groom of the stool. And it is unknown as to whether or not this job still exists. It might still exist to where they don't have to do it themselves. It's a real job. The royal ass wiper.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It says the groom of the stool was a male servant in the household of the English monarch who was responsible for assisting the king in his toileting needs.
Yep.
So
that is a real
created by during Henry VIII.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Oh, that would have been
for Henry VIII.
Listen,
especially towards the end of Henry VIII's reign. Like, God,
I always say,
horrible.
I'm too lazy to make shit up. This is all real. So,
no pun intended.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Gonna play video games over here in the chat is what I call it, trying to figure out how to get rid of the bots. The thing is, sometimes you have to refresh the page. I'm just worried that since I'm the one that's running the stream, that if I refresh it, the stream might go down.
We might go
block and delete, block and delete, block and delete.
Yeah. But yeah, so Austin, anything new with you?
Not really. I mean, I just work a lot. I haven't really done any trips or anything. We're just kind of getting ready for me and Jordan's trip here in September, which is not far away. It's really only about a month and a half. It's not far away. But I was gonna actually use Chris's one of his movies he held up to. Unfortunately, talk about two sort of gangster celebrity deaths that we lost, because we talking about James Caan and Paul Sorvino, who passed away recently.
Oh yeah.
I was going to use Dick Tracy because Paul Sorvino's in the beginning of Dick Tracy. If you remember, he's Lips Manalus, who gets whacked by Al Pacino in that movie with the bath. If you remember, he's the guy kind of disgustingly sucking the oysters at the beginning of the movie. Really really gross. And he goes, "You dirty lips. You need a bath." "Oh, not the bath, not the bath." And the bath is him getting dropped into the ocean, basically in a container full of concrete. So yeah. But yeah, I was going to use that to kind of transition. Yeah, Paul Sorvino, who probably most famous for Goodfellas. Obviously, he's Paulie in Goodfellas. Good presence in that movie. And he's also in a movie Jacob loves, The Rocketeer. He's the gangster in The Rocketeer.
Oh, he is.
Yeah.
Oh, I love The Rocketeer.
Kind of the main one who helps them kind of turn on Timothy Dalton at the end of the movie. Yeah.
So I hadn't seen that movie in a while, and I finally saw it last year, for the first time in forever, and it was still held up. Still was solid. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And then James Caan, obviously, kind of gangster, in The Godfather. He's Sonny, the kind of brash, temperamental, son who takes over being the Don for a little while and gets whacked at the toll booth, obviously. And then, but it's funny, he doesn't get enough credit for his role in Misery. Alongside, because everybody talks about Kathy Bates, but I mean, he's just a critical part of that, in his reactions and his, handling of the situation and his escapes and stuff. And the fact that James Caan, if you look into that movie, it was basically a 2-month shoot where he was in a bed the entire time, which is actually tougher than you might think, because you can't move, you can't move your legs, you can't do anything, it's all just facial expressions and, kind of upper body, acting. And it also just gets numbing after a while and kind of, and if you think about his performance in The Godfather, it's very big, like he's always moving around, we're going to do this, bada bing, bada boom, and then you see this other movie and he's kind of confined to this bed for the whole movie, other than a few scenes, but yeah, it's just, another really, really good actor. And there's also a good Michael Mann movie called Thief, if you haven't seen. He's really good in that movie.
Yes, the movie's so good.
Yeah. So but yeah, two actors that we lost recently. So we just wanted to say rest in peace to them.
Rest in peace to two phenomenal actors.
Two great actors. Yeah, and Paul Sorvino was still working, man. That dude works. He's got 200 credits on IMDb or something, man. He was still working. He was 83, still doing these little movies here and there. He's really great. His daughter, Mira Sorvino is an actress, still working today. So yeah.
And speaking of another gangster, type actor that we lost recently, Ray Liotta too, also from The Godfather.
Yeah,
Yes.
no, we're starting to lose people from Godfather and Goodfellas and some of those things,
Yeah,
and it's unfortunate that we're going to go back and watch Goodfellas, and unfortunately, if Robert De Niro passes away in the next 10 or 15 years,
Right.
a lot of the main cast, same thing with Joe Pesci, will be gone. It's
I know.
So,
God, that movie is so good.
Yeah.
And a little bit of a segue, but not much of a segue, because we did mention Godfather. If you have not seen
The Offer is awesome.
So good. Like,
it
blew
so
my
good.
mind.
I haven't seen it yet, but I want to watch it.
I did not know everything was involved with that production.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, I knew a lot of the production stuff about it, but it was cool seeing an actual show about it. And I know I had posted, and I know, Chris, we kind of went back and forth on it, that they could do that type of mini series for like other movies that had productions like that. And I think it'd be awesome. Like do kind of like a
Jaws.
That's what Jaws, Back to the Future had a production like that, Raiders, or like I was saying, Apocalypse Now. You could just recast Dan Fogler as Francis Ford Coppola, and that was obviously a nutty shoot. It took 2 years to make. But there's all kinds of even older movies. You can go back to the 50s and 60s. Spartacus or go.
I know Casablanca. My favorite movie had a whole bunch of issues. Like
you could go back even further. But I would just like to see more shows like that where it has the stories that you could stretch. And these tumultuous, shoots and kind of do that. I think it'd be a lot of fun.
And for me, it was just surreal, like, because I don't think I knew like necessarily everything about these producers and these guys. So I went and looked them up. I'm like, wow. Mm-hmm. And just the performances were mind blowing. The portrayal was awesome. Yeah.
It's the first time I've seen Miles Teller in like almost an adult role. I keep thinking of him like these young roles, and he plays this whole different character where he's like very, very mature in the movie. Playing this guy Al Ruddy, like he's really, really. If you're, I mean, I know a lot of people like Whiplash and stuff like that, but if you're not like a huge Miles Teller's fan, maybe other than Whiplash, like I encourage you to watch The Offer. He's great. And you know who also stole the movie for me was Juno Temple as his assistant, Betty.
Yes,
secretary was so good, and their chemistry is awesome. In that show, like she's really, really great. Everybody's good. The guy who plays the producer is fantastic. The producer of Paramount, he's great. I'm blanking on his name, but he's awesome. The whole show I can't recommend enough. And and Jordan, it may help you appreciate The Godfather a little bit more. Like all the crazy stuff they had to deal with, even just trying to make this thing. And
like no one wanted it made.
It was just every corner they were just either trying to fire people or cut corners or cut this or cut that or didn't want this actor, didn't want this actor. Like it's crazy. It's insane.
Yeah. Well, like it's surreal. I know we're not going to stay focused on this, but one aspect like I don't really think about like Al Pacino and that. I'm like, okay, well, Al Pacino's amazing now. He wasn't anything then.
No, he was just a theater guy back then. He really was a theater guy
really
that Coppola really wanted, had like no experience, and they're like, no, we can't cast like a known, like we need a somebody. We want a Robert Redford. We need a whoever, just somebody with a name. Even James Caan, they wanted to play Al Pacino's part because he was a name at the time. It's like, no, we wanted somebody. So I can't recommend enough. It's a really great little miniseries, and it's cool that knowing that it's just going to be like this one-off thing. Like it's not we don't need a season 2. Obviously, there is no season 2. Like Godfather 2 had the easiest production ever because once it won Oscars and became the highest grossing movie of all time. It was like, all right, here's your blank check, Coppola, to make the sequel. Do whatever you want. We're not going to question your decision now. So do whatever you want. And then that one wins Best Picture and makes a lot of money too. There you go. So
well, probably what I'll end up doing is watching The Offer and then doing a rewatch of the Godfather 1 and 2 to see if I can appreciate it more after I know everything that went through. So but
fun stuff.
But I'm not. I was gonna say I wasn't sure what the reference was, but I get it. We're gonna talk about movies that make us cry. We haven't got there yet, but it's
cry.
From Papa West. Thanks, Papa. But we could use that as a good segue if you want to get into this.
Let's get into it.
So I just figured we just go around the horn. We'll trade one apiece, and then I thought that we could try to come up with a definitive list. I mean, we'll do the best that we can to get some of our like higher ranks, or if we have any crossovers.
I'll tell you what, I'll just jot down if there are any that are crossed over. I'll jot them down, and then we'll see if we have enough crossovers to do even just maybe a top 5 or a top 10 or something like that. It doesn't have to be a 12. Like we'll see, especially if there's total crossovers, or if there's ones we forget and we're like, oh yeah, that one. How did I forget that? You know, whatever. We'll jot them down. So, and we'll see if we can make a list.
Yeah, and for my list, surprisingly, like I came up with a lot actually. Like I didn't think that I had that many, but then when I started thinking about it, I'm like, there's actually quite a few. So,
well,
I just thought that we just run down some of our honorable mentions. If anyone has any honorable mentions, real quick, and get those out of the way. And I'll just kind of list mine. I won't really get into it. Like if you want to say just a like one sentence or just something quick about it, you can do that. But we'll just run through them quick. But for me, I got a few of them. So I had Life is Beautiful on there because that one always gets me, just because of like how the movie kind of ends too. It's a great Bellini movie, but and then I also have these are both interchangeable, but either the end of Star Wars: A New Hope or the end of Return of the Jedi. I feel like a good cry. I feel like a good kind of chills moment where you just feel like you just like had the greatest victory of all time. Then I have the end of American History X with Edward Furlong. Like spoiler alert, he dies at the end unexpectedly. But
dude.
Yeah, sorry. What's an old movie?
You can't just spoil a 20-year-old movie.
Yeah, right. But then also have surprisingly The Land Before Time on there, because the power of music on there, like the music gets me every time. So
it's on my
list. Nice.
Do any of the 13 sequels make you cry?
No. Well, they make me cry for other reasons.
And I'm not exaggerating. The DVD set I had over there, which is all set for potentially my new niece's movie watching when she grows up, is 14 movies long, or 14 movies.
14 movies.
There's one box set that was like $15. It was like $1 a movie. I was like, it's just a good deal anyways for a collector.
Probably not even all of it.
Right. No, I get it. Yeah.
It was cheaper to just buy that. It was cheaper to just buy that than the original Land Before Time on a single disc, when they're the same price to get all 14 of them.
Right. Oh,
yeah.
Even though I never watch them.
Yeah.
You secretly watch them every day.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I'm on the 11th one now. I'm doing a marathon.
Yeah. But we also had Pay It Forward, because the end of it always gets me. Then I had the rap scene at the end of Blind Spotting. I had the last scene for the movie, the end of Watch, with Jake Gyllenhaal and Michael Pena. It's pretty powerful. And then I also had the final scene from Logan, because it's the first superhero movie that really made me cry. So I had to throw that
on your main list.
That on there, yeah.
How's that on your main list?
No, it's not on my main list. So my favorite movie of all time, but I think there's some movies that kind of get to me.
Might be on someone's main list.
Even more, yeah. See, he covered it for me. So. But Chris, do you have some honorable mentions?
I absolutely do, and actually, you made me think of another one while I was waiting.
Yeah.
The Never-Ending Story. That movie gets me every single time. Like it just, it breaks me, especially the ending to that movie. Finding Nemo. That movie is sad as hell, but it's really good. Ghostbusters Afterlife. So good, and just a lot of tearjerker moments. I don't get the hate for that movie. I freaking love it. And Taxi Driver. God, that movie is phenomenal, but rips my heart out and just stomps all over it to pieces.
Yeah.
Those are my honorable mentions.
Yeah, and I just wanted to reiterate that like some of these might make us cry, but other times it might just give us the strong chills. Maybe we don't cry every time, but they're just ones that really give us the feels. We'll say that. So yeah, but Austin, did you have some
dust in the air?
Yeah, no, there's only a couple of these that actually make me actually cry. Most of these are just they kind of get you to well up and get the goosebumps and just get you in that mode where you're about to, but you may or may not, depending on the situation. I only had a list of 13, so I really only have one honorable mention. So that's just the whole montage of Brooks in the Shawshank Redemption when he gets let out of jail, and he's like, and he just it just leads to him hanging himself, like in the apartment or the halfway house or whatever, and just where he's just like, this world has passed me by, like I'm not made for this, I'm sorry guys, goodbye. Like, it's horrible. It's just a tragic end to a guy who really didn't even want to leave. Like, he's like, I have a place in here, I have a family, like I have a purpose in here, and he goes out to the world and he's just like another dude, he's just another guy, and it's just it's heartbreaking, man. Like it's horrible. So that's like easily the lowest point of the movie for me. So so that's the only one.
Well, Jacob, did you have any honorable mentions?
Yeah, I've got a few. So the ending of The Green Mile always gets me, like when he's in the chair. Oh my goodness. 12 Years a Slave. Great movie. Like that one.
Forgot about
that one. Gets me. Fruitvale Station with Michael B. Jordan. That movie, man, that one's tough. And 10 years later, it's still relevant.
That one almost made my list. It was close.
It was Ryan Coogler's directorial debut, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
You said Fruitvale Station.
Fruitvale Station, and it's only like 90 minutes, but man, they pack a lot. Like you really get to know Michael B. Jordan. I can't remember his name off the top of my head in the movie, but
it's like
really
based
good.
on a true story. That's something that really happened. So it's pretty tragic.
Well, I'll definitely check it out.
Yeah, it's really good. I can only imagine that the song itself just means a lot to me personally. So the movie, seeing that, like, it was really cool. And like,
love that song.
Like, I still like choke up listening to the song sometimes. Like,
I think I told Jordan I saw this movie in the theater, but not for the reasons you think I saw it in the theater for. It's because I listened to a podcast called God Awful Movies about bad Christian movies, and so I went and saw it in a theater so I could listen to the show. So I saw I Can Only Imagine in the theater.
And then the last one, I kind of just grouped these together, but Onward, Coco, and Inside Out. Like, there's just moments in all of those movies that just that get me up. And they're not the only Pixar movies I'll be talking about either. So
Pixar's
a couple more on the actual list.
I can't believe I didn't think of Coco. Coco rips my heart out. Oh my gosh.
Did he sing to his grandma?
I just saw Coco this week for the first time.
Well, so I was late to Coco as well. Like, I was like, what? And then I finally saw it this past year. So, like, because I was kind of like, is it going to be as good? And it blew me away. Like, and it's probably one of the movies I've cried the most watching from Pixar, if not Inside Out.
Well, it might be a heavy night for us talking about Pixar movies. We'll see, because I got one or two on my list too. So
I think I have.
They might be the same.
I have one.
Yeah.
Oh no, two. I'm sorry. Two. I have two. Okay, but
which again might be the same too.
Yeah, right. We'll see. Yeah.
Well, Austin, I appreciate you being able to jot some of these down. If you have any crossovers,
I'll just listen to the crossovers, and I can run down the list of ones I heard just a lot of times, and maybe we can come up with some kind of list. So we'll see. Maybe just like a top 10 or something. Whatever, we'll figure it out. So
we'll start with my number 12. I'll kick it off. So my number 12 is The Grave of the Fireflies. So that's like one of the few Miyazaki movies that I really like. And man, like, this movie makes me cry almost from beginning to end. Like, it's just sad all the way through. It's about, for anyone who hasn't seen it, but it's about this brother and a sister, and they're in Japan during World War II, and everything's just getting bombed to ash all around them. And like they even talk about the like dropping of the atom bombs that were dropped over in Japan, like how people have coped with that, and what the survivors had to go through. And then after that happened, they're just trying to find food to be able to eat and be able to survive. And then, like, it's just, I won't spoil it, but there's some pretty tragic things by the end of it all that are just so sad. Like I was even watching like a clip earlier and just like bawling. Like, this movie doesn't just give me chills; it gives me like a hard cry. like I'll admit it. Like, this movie.
I don't know why I don't have any Totoro movies on my list, because like they're like, I feel like every one of them makes me cry. Like a freaking Totoro. Totoro is probably my favorite.
Okay, yeah. But
your Ghibli movies,
but but yeah, the Grave of the Firefly gets me every time. So if you haven't seen it, like even if you're not a fan of anime, like that one, especially, it's just more grounded and a lot less fantasy and a lot less tentacles and weird shit flying all over the place. So yeah, but yeah, that'll be my number 12. But Chris,
yeah, it's like the most human anime movie there is.
Yeah, yeah.
So my number 12 is It's a Wonderful Life.
Mm.
The progress of that story throughout is amazing. I definitely choke up. Just the idea of just trying to do try to feel like what you're doing matters in the world. I think that's a good way to sum it up. And just Jimmy Stewart's performance is mind blowing. I feel horrible as I can't think of what the angel's name is in there. But so many incredible performances in that movie.
Well, the theme of sometimes you don't know the effect you have on people until you're like at your lowest point, and then they kind of reach out to you, and say like how much they've meant to you or whatever. And you just don't know that sometimes until somebody says it. So it's interesting, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I will say that if any of you guys have any crossovers on the list, if you have it ranked at least 3 spots higher or more, you can say punt, and then we'll just hold off talking about it until we get to the other person's spot, so we can do that too. So, but yeah, but Austin, what's your number 12?
My number 12. It's not really the entire movie again per se. Some of these are just certain scenes. But the point in The Pursuit of Happiness, when he has to go down with his son to like that subway bathroom, and he's like holding the door closed while the guy's like trying to get in, and he's just completely like at his lowest point ever, just sobbing his eyes out because like just realizing how just like how did it get here, or thinking he's just like failed as a father, like it's just a rough scene. Like that scene is just rough. Like just seeing like how he's been trying, busting his ass trying to like do this, and he's just it's right after the guy like stole his last machine and shit too, and just they're not able to get into the shelter that night. It's a rough sequence. So yeah.
Really rough sequence.
That's my number.
Yeah, for sure. Jacob, what do you have at 12?
So my number 12 is a movie called The Fifth Quarter. It's not the greatest movie, but I've watched it a couple times, and the beginning like 20 minutes of this movie gets me sobbing every time. So it stars Aidan Quinn, Andy McDowell, and Ryan Merriman. Ryan Merriman is a football player at Wake Forest. This is based on a true story. It's kind of one of those faith-based, but not really. Like they mention God, but it's not like the central theme of the movie. But essentially what happens in the first 20 minutes is Ryan Merriman's younger brother plays lacrosse at school, and he gets a ride home from practice, and teenagers, being stupid teenagers, they decide to go fast in their car, and a big accident happens, and the younger brother ends up being seriously injured, and is in the hospital on life support basically, and Ryan Merriman's character comes back from Wake Forest, and they keep holding out hope, but eventually they finally realize that he's not going to make it. So the thing is, like in the waiting room, like his entire team, like all of his friends from school are waiting, and the dad's like, all right, well, I want them to be able to say goodbye first. And so that scene of just there's a line of people going in to the hospital room and out of the hospital room, and like that part gets me. But what gets me even more is later on, like the funeral scene is so heartbreaking. The mom gives a speech, and that's heartbreaking. But they start pushing the casket out, the coffin out, and the dad gets up, and he says no. Like I'm even choking up a little bit now just talking about it.
Yeah, right.
He says no, and he starts pushing it all by himself to the door, and just sobbing, breaking down, and saying, "That's my boy. That's my son."
I'm not crying. You're crying.
People are standing up watching them, and like and it's just the first 20 minutes, and then the rest of the movie is okay. Like it's an okay movie. It's a football movie, so the football scenes are good. And he wore number 5, so the 5th quarter comes from them. Like they're supporting Ryan Merriman in his so every time in the 4th quarter they would hold up 5, and like that part gets me too because I mean that first 20 minutes, like I work with kids, and like, well, yes, this is a teenager. Like just anytime, just seeing parents break down because they have to like bury their kids, like that is just heartbreaking to me. And like the first 20 minutes of this movie, like you don't have to watch the whole movie, but if you just watch this like first 20 minutes, like I guarantee you, like if you don't feel some sort of emotion, you don't have a soul, and that's just how it is.
Well, I feel like you usually have pretty good suggestions, so I'm adding so far. Those
same. I wrote it down.
Must-watch lists are.
I think parents should not outlive their children. It's just not a thing that should happen, but when it does, it's pretty sad. So,
yeah, it is.
So but yeah, I think we're getting a little feedback. I think that if you get your earbuds too close to the microphone or something like that, it'll kind of do that. So if it does that, just kind of watch. I don't know who it's coming from, but it's fine.
What's going on?
I was here. I didn't know if it was who it was.
A little bit of
feedback,
but it was fine.
I think it might have been when you were turned like down to your computer or something like that.
This.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah. Something like that. Yeah.
Sorry, guys.
You're good.
But my number 11 might be a crossover for some people. We'll see, because it's more of like the popular pick. But I got to go Schindler's List. So.
Oh yeah, no, don't. We're not talking about that yet.
He can punt.
It's a punt. Okay.
That's way higher for me.
Yeah, then we'll hold off. Okay, sounds good. We'll go to Chris.
Not on my list. We could definitely talk about it. Yeah, for sure. But if it's on Jacob's list, wait till if it's later. We'll punt till he gets to it. So.
Well, Chris, what's your number 11?
My number 11 is Rambo: Last Blood. I know, based on talking about that movie, like I know a lot of you guys hated it. We literally talked about it on the show, and I was like, I love the movie much that I'm glad I saw it in theaters, and I thought it was phenomenal. As I said, I know you hated Austin. I know you hated Jordan.
No. Did you? Well, no. It's just the thing. Did you watch me and Henry's ranking of the Rambos? Like, I didn't hate it. It's just my least favorite of the series. There's a difference. It doesn't mean I necessarily hated it.
But anyways, so
I don't think it's a good Rambo movie. That's all. That's all.
Yeah.
I thought it was an amazing way to type that series, and I bawled like a baby several times throughout that movie. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, it makes sense because it's kind of almost like an ending to the character.
It is.
In a sense, so I mean, you never know. I think it always just decided to do another one,
but the other one did. I'll leave it for another show.
Yeah, it is true. But Boston, what's your number 11?
My number 11 again. It's just a specific sequence that, for whatever reason, gets me going. It's from Mary Poppins. So and it's a very specific sequence. It's when it's kind of near like it's in the third act. And it's when Mr. Banks gets the call to go to his job, basically to get fired. When he finds out he's going to get fired, and as he's like at his lowest point, like he hasn't been running around and dancing like everybody else, like he doesn't get it, and he's kind of at his lowest point. And it's the specific sequence where he walks out to the house and they're swelling the orchestral music, and there's a great shot of him like walking down this road like from behind, like just as a static shot, but he's just walking, and like the music kind of swells up, and it kind of just gets me every time, like when he's about to go get fired. So like it's whatever reason, it's just like a perfect storm of like music and filming and like his performance in the sequence. Like you can see it in his eyes, like he's just like David Tomlinson was just such a great actor in that movie. Like he's awesome in that film, and like it's just a perfect storm of stuff. So yeah, it's just pretty much a specific sequence in Mary Poppins that gets me going.
Yeah.
And it's actually the same sequence that I know it didn't really happen in real life. It's kind of exaggerated. But when in Saving Mr. Banks, when Emma Thompson's character is watching that sequence, she starts to cry. So like that just gets me all over again when I watch that movie. So
that would probably be an honorable mention.
Yeah, she starts to watch the next sequence, starts to cry, and it's the exact same sequence I'm talking about when he's on his way to like go get fired at the place, like at the bank. So yeah.
That's exactly what I was gonna say. Like like when I saw Saving Mr. Banks, it gave me a new appreciation for like the whole movie, but like that scene in particular.
Yes.
So yeah, yeah, it's good stuff.
Everyone should appreciate Mary Poppins.
Yeah,
I certainly do, Jacob. You know that.
Oh yeah,
My favorite movie for a reason.
Yeah,
it's gone up several spaces over the last.
Still in my top
years,
10.
but...
Still in my top 10.
Yeah.
Always will be.
Well, Jacob, what's your number 11?
My number 11, again, it's just for a specific sequence, but it's Hardball.
Oh yeah.
G Baby didn't deserve that.
G Baby, yeah.
G Baby did not deserve that. Like, oh my god. Again, kids. Like, if it has to do with kids and death, like it's gonna get me. And then this was another one. Like, 20 years later, I still get emotional just watching that. And then, Keanu Reeves connecting with these kids that, are portrayed as, not. I don't know what the word I'm looking for. I don't want to say unlovable because that's not true, but like they're like you can just kind of tell from the way the other coaches are treating them and reacting to them. Like they shouldn't be playing baseball in the same league as them. And his connection with them is great. I love it. I love the story. Again, it's another Michael B. Jordan movie.
Oh yeah,
forgot
about that. Yeah.
What? Wow.
Yeah, he has a very early. He plays Jamal.
Oh.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, I love that movie. I didn't know he played in that though.
Yeah, but like when he gets shot and his brother's reaction to it, like that just gets me because G Baby was like the unofficial team mascot for the Cucumbers, and 20 years later, it still gets me. So Hardball's my number 11.
Yeah, I always love the scene where he's like, let me break it down for you right quick. And he's like trying to explain how the whole team thing works and everything. I'm like, oh yeah, this guy's gonna be awesome. Yeah, but I totally forgot that I had some graphics for mine, so I'm just gonna show that. There's Grave of the Fireflies for anyone that's interested. So that's just the only one that I talked about. But my number 10 is the end of Toy Story 3. So I don't know if it's a crossover.
Pond.
Okay, yeah. Okay. And we'll hold off again. I figured that's some crossovers. So, but then we'll go to Chris. What's your number 10?
Well, so I kind of like been adjusting my list while we were talking, but Finding Forrester. That movie was so good, and I would say like there were several moments throughout that it really got me, and kind of like towards the end where he's being judged, like they're just like ready to condemn him forever, and then when Sean Connery's character actually leaves his home down there to actually defend him was amazing. Like I definitely broke down. Like that scene was just phenomenal. Where he actually stood up against this bully of a head of the school. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, Finding Forrester was one that I watched because it's kind of a basketball movie, and so I was interested for that. But then it delivered a lot more than that when I watched it. So I'm like, wow, that was like really good. Yeah.
And it gets me at the end when you see that the ending just gets me every single time you see that.
Yeah.
There.
Yep. Well, Austin, what's your number 10?
So my number 10 comes from the original 1941 Dumbo that I watched when I was a kid, and it's the baby mine sequence.
Yeah, I didn't even think of that.
The baby mine. If you know what it is, it's the sequence where his mom, Dumbo's mom, has been like locked in a separate basically cage sort of a wagon thing, and like he goes to like see her, and she's like rocking him on his trunk like through the cage while singing the Baby Mine song. Oh, it kills me every time. Like it's just like just the way it's filmed.
Crying.
And she's crying while she's singing it. Oh, it's just heartbreaking. It's horrible. Fun fact: that movie's like 62 minutes. It's amazing.
Wow.
Like those old movies. Yeah, it feels longer than that, which I guess is a sign of a good movie. But like, if you go back and look at it, the movie's like barely over an hour. It's crazy because back in the day, some of those movies were played with other things in an afternoon.
Right.
Like at a whole
probably like cartoons before.
Yeah, they play cartoons before, like a newsreel for the parents, stuff like that. So, you could have a movie, like a lot of those old Universal Monster movies are like an hour long or 70 minutes. Like they're barely, ain't long at all. But that's why it's great. So, but yeah, anyways, Dumbo, Baby Mine is my number 10. Yeah.
I forgot about that scene. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Good pick like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Jacob, what's your number 10?
My number 10, I'm kind of cheating and linking two movies together. That's Infinity War and Endgame.
Okay.
I've got a 2-movie link coming up soon, so I'll explain. I'll explain when I get there.
Right. Yeah, I kind of wanted to group these two together because they are like you can easily watch them as I don't know why you'd want to, but you can easily watch them back to back as like a complete story. But like the end of Infinity War. The snap and just specifically Peter Parker's Mr. Stark.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't feel so good.
I don't want to go. I don't want to go.
Yeah. And then and then just Tony looking defeated. Like, man, it gets me, especially after you after however many years and however many movies, like you've been connected to these characters, and like it's just. It got me, and that's not what I expected going into the movie. I didn't expect Thanos to win.
Yeah.
Right. But I'm glad he did because it was highly entertaining and it was excellent. And then Endgame, he starts it with Iron Man, he ends it with I am Iron Man, the snap, and just man, again, like it's 10 years getting to know Tony Stark and like seeing his growth as a character, and then like he just makes the ultimate sacrifice for the world, like the universe, really. Like I don't know if he would have done that 10 years earlier in Iron Man, like he might have saved his mansion and stuff, but now he's saving the world, and I love the growth, and it was a fitting end to his time in the MCU, and so like it's sad, but it's also like emotional for other reasons. And then I think they ruin it because they end the movie like 6 more times after that.
Yeah, right.
Like we see, okay, now this is where Captain America's going, this is where the Guardians are going, this is where Thor's going. Like,
yeah,
I understand why you did that, but like if you had ended it with just the scene of whatever it's called, being floated away or whatever, like that ending would have been excellent. Like I do like the scene of Steve Rogers and Peggy Carter dancing, but like if you would have just ended it.
We'll have to do a podcast about movies one time. I'll jot it down about movies that should have ended like 2 scenes earlier than they did.
Yeah.
like movies that had a perfect ending and then kept going.
Yeah.
you know, like I bet you I could come up with some in my thing where I'm like, I wish it would just stopped right there and it would have been perfect. And they go another scene
right now.
Yeah. I'm gonna jot that down. We're gonna do that on a podcast about movies.
Yes.
Write it down.
Yeah.
But, all right.
I kind of contend Robert Downey Jr. should at least have been nominated for an Oscar. I mean, come on. But
I disagree.
Yeah. If they didn't nominate Hugh Jackman for Logan or Patrick Stewart for Logan, then I'm not.
Maybe not win, but like nominated. I mean, come on. But so my number 9 is Old Yeller. So. And
I've never actually watched it because I don't want to. I don't like dogs in peril. When I know a dog's gonna be in peril, I don't want to watch it. Yeah. I know about it. I know of the scene. I know it, but I don't want to watch it. Yeah.
Well, the thing is that like for some reason, like I'm not a big pet person or that much really, but it's like these movies where these dogs die always get to me every time because they're so sad and like they really like. Just build them up as like your best friend and like family to you and everything, and like but like how he dies though in the movie is that so like I think he gets in a fight at one point like a mountain lion or something like defends him from it, and then somehow along the way the dog ends up getting rabies, and so the dog comes back and he has rabies and he's like rabid, and so the boy from Old Yeller, who's the same one from Swiss Family Robinson, in both of those, but like he just knows what he has to do, and it's this kind of longer scene where they kind of play out the whole thing where like he's like telling him to look away, and then he has to come up with the gun and shoot him because he has rabies. So like he's pretty much like that's all you can do with the dog. Almost even nowadays, like there's no cure for rabies, and like the only way that you can put an end to it is just to kill him. Like it's just sad, but yeah, no, there's no cure. I think there might be like a vaccine though. You can get vaccinated, but if you're not vaccinated and you get it,
here's the thing, people, that's why they say if you get bit by something and you don't know where the animal came from, you get checked out immediately, because if you get treated for it immediately, they can stop it. But if you start showing the signs of rabies and then get treated, they can't treat you. If it's already gone through a certain phase, they can't. They literally cannot. You will die.
I didn't know that.
Yes. Yeah. So that's why and it takes about a week, but like so that's why they say if you ever get bit by a wild animal or even a pet that you don't know, or a dog you don't know, cat, whatever, just go to the clinic immediately, and they can give you these antibiotics or whatever that can like take care of it like immediately. But but not if you're a certain point into it. Yeah, you gotta act fast. Gotta act with it.
It was like the one reason I hated working late nights at the camp I worked at, because we had raccoons just roaming everywhere.
Right.
I hate raccoons as it is. I'm like, if one of them gets close to me, I'm not sure what I'm gonna do. Will I freeze? Will I run? I don't know.
Yeah, you can go and get a shot and you're fine immediately or within a day. But don't that's your tip of the day from Podcast League now. Get bit by a wild animal, just even if you don't think it's bad, just go get checked out, make sure it'd be good. So yeah.
It was a quick little story about something like that. Is that so when I was a missionary for my church down in Texas, we were in this little town called Brady, Texas. It's like almost in like the geographical center of the state, and we're doing a service project helping this guy pour some cement and like build a little like outdoor staircase thing. And it was me and my a mission companion, and he had this one of those chow chow dogs that was tied up on a big long chain. But apparently this chain was like really long, because we walked by and like the dog just sitting there calm, out of nowhere he just lunges at my companion and he bit him on the leg and like latched on hard to where he's shaking his leg trying to get this dog off of him. And then so we're gonna take him to the hospital, but the owner of it, he didn't have any paperwork. He didn't have he essentially told us that he didn't have any shots for his dog, all that stuff. So he's like essentially begging us. He's like, please don't go to the hospital. If you go to the hospital, they're going to come back. They're going to take away my dog. They're going to kill him. We're like, well, what do you expect us to do? He just got bit. We got to go to the hospital. I mean, we have to go. And like essentially, like the only way that you can tell an animal if they don't have any proof of it, they have to put them down. They have to cut their brain open. And that's the only way that they can tell for sure if they actually have rabies. So it's important to make sure that your dog or your pets have all their shots and everything, because like that kind of ruined the relationship that we had, because we didn't want really animal control to go and just take his dog and kill it. We didn't want that, but they just do it automatically. Like we don't even have any control. Like, it's almost I think it's like the law. Like you have to do it if you can't provide paperwork after someone's been bit like that. So yeah, it's crazy, but Chris, what's your number 9?
It is The Last Unicorn.
Okay.
The Last Unicorn is incredible, but there are several parts in that movie that get me every single time. I know I'm not naming specific moments like you guys, but these are movies that just made me tear up. That is one of them, and it is actually signed by the author. What?
Is that the Jeff Bridges movie where he does a voice on it?
I think so.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I haven't seen that since I was a kid. Yeah.
I vaguely heard of it. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like an old
it's signed by the writer
movie from the 80s. Yeah.
Yes, Jeff Bridges.
My buddy went to Comic-Con and met the guy and got a sign for me.
Oh wow.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
I'll have to check it out. Yeah.
This is a nice cast. Mia Farrow, Jeff Bridges, Alan Arkin.
Oh yeah.
Angela
Lansbury and Christopher Lee.
Yeah. Damn.
Yes.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it is a ridiculous cast.
Yeah. I'll have to check it out.
And it's got some funny parts in there too, with the talking skeleton.
Oh yeah.
Who I think is Christopher Lee.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Austin, what's your number 9?
So my next two might involve dogs, which is why I have a thing, dog, but they're not the ones you might think of. So my number 9 involves, ironically enough, another infected dog, as we were just talking about, and that's the I Am Legend scene where he has where he has to put his dog down. Oh my God, it's the worst. Like he's got that German Shepherd, and the German Shepherd gets infected by the crazy people, and it's just that whole sequence where he's like sitting with him just like in the bathroom, and he's just like holding him, like kind of cradling him, because he knows he's gonna have to do, like, he basically snaps his neck like by the end of the sequence, but he's just like looking at him and trying to like comfort him and like talk to him, and like, because I talk to my dog like a person, you know what I mean? Like, my dog is my kid. Like, I don't have kids, so like I love my dog like that. And like, you at some point, you have a bond there, and like when he's just the way he's like talking to him, and he knows what he's about to do, and he's tearing up. Oh, it's the worst. I hate like dogs are in peril, like it's the worst, which is why I don't go out of my way to like watch a movie where I know a dog's gonna like die at the end or something. I don't want to do that. I'm not watching that. Like, so any movie that has like a dog as a star, I'm like, I don't know if I want to see that, because I don't know what's gonna happen to the dog. Like that Channing Tatum movie that came out, I don't want to see that. I don't know, the dog might die. I don't know.
Yeah.
So right. I don't want to watch that. So like, because I think there's a Twitter account or some page. It's called "Does the Dog Die?" and it's a log of every movie that has a dog and tells you whether or not they die.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh wow.
Well, just so you can know, for people like me, you can know if it doesn't, so it's safe to watch, because like they sometimes trick you with that, like sneakily.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? So like this movie, when I saw it in the theater, I didn't know A, he had a dog, and B, that there would be a sequence like that, and I was like, oh no, don't do that, stop.
That movie. I
want to watch that.
I didn't think about that. That movie is so good, and oh my God, that was brutal.
I remember watching it with my good friend Mark, who's been on the show, and he actually had a German Shepherd. So but somehow like I didn't see him crying during the scene, but he's definitely pretty somber. I think maybe he was just trying to put on like a pretty strong front, because he was pretty close with that dog. I remember that, but Jacob, what's your number 9?
My number 9, we're gonna stay in the MCU because I'm gonna go with No Way Home.
Okay.
Like, I think for me, like, this is the first time that a Spider-Man movie death has really gotten to me, because we really got to know Aunt May. Like, we've had 3 movies with her up to this point, and so and just the way that she dies, and then Peter's reaction, and I think this is some of Tom Holland's best work, like, period. Like, not just in the MCU, but period. Like, I know he doesn't have a lot of credits to his name, but like this is towards the top. Just some of the most emotion I've felt in a superhero movie, except for another one that I'll mention later, but like that. And I think it's because we've gotten to know Aunt May. Like, the reason the first 2 like Uncle Ben deaths didn't hit me as hard is because they go in the first movie, and so we didn't really get to know them as characters as much as we did Aunt May. And Aunt May, like, not only for Peter but also for Happy, and seeing his reaction when he pulls up and he looks inside and he sees Peter just holding her, and and then I don't know why it gets me as much as it does, but when Andrew Garfield saves MJ, saves Zendaya, and then, are you okay? Yeah. Are you okay? And he's just got tears in his eyes, and he's like, yeah. And just some of the fake outs. Like, I thought Tobey Maguire was gonna go when he was stabbed by Willem Dafoe, and thankfully he doesn't. But like, there's just several moments in this movie that got me emotional, and then that when he has to tell MJ and Ned that, hey, you guys aren't gonna remember me. Like, that stuff gets me. Like, there's just so much emotion in this movie. And it gets me every single time. Like, I know I say that, like, the movie's been out for several years now. It's only been out for less than a year, but I've watched it 3 times already, and every single time, like, the emotion hits me the same. So
well, I really like where they end the movie too, because like like Spider-Man's always been my favorite, probably comic book character. Period. So like just like now he doesn't have any Aunt May. Everyone's forgotten, and like he's just kind of like all alone and abandoned, and like where they're gonna go from here. It's like just right out of the comic books. Like we really need that kind of anguish, kind of just like distraught Peter Parker. Like he's probably gonna be living in his own apartment, struggling to pay rent, like in the comic and some of the other movies and all that. So yeah, like I'm excited for what they have coming up next.
Yeah,
so.
I can't believe that movie's not on my list because like I probably cried the most in that movie.
Yeah,
during that movie because the writing was phenomenal, the acting was phenomenal. Just as you said, like, when Aunt May dies, it's just
yeah,
it's brutal, and just Happy's reaction to that is phenomenal. And yeah, Tom Holland as Spider-Man is freaking fantastic. Like, yeah. Oh,
can you imagine being a high school senior and going through all of that?
No.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's what people forget. Like, we know Tom Holland's like 24, 25, whatever. But Peter Parker is a senior in high school. Like, he's still a kid.
Yeah. Oh, man.
And then he's suddenly not a kid anymore. Like, he grows up fast.
Yeah. He has to grow quick. Yeah. But
ridiculous. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, on that note, we'll move on to my number 8. My number 8 is another dog one. Surprise, surprise! But it's Where the Red Fern Grows. So like that, the movie was a movie that my dad showed me like a lot of kind of live action, kind of like G-rated and PG-rated movies growing up. So Where the Red Fern Grows just gets me because like this little boy, he's just so like he wanted these dogs, and he just asked his parents for a dog. He just asked them and begged them, but eventually, like they would only let him do it if he earned his own money, and he found a way to get him himself. So he put so much work into it, and in the relationship when he finally gets the dog. And then it's another kind of similar to Old Yeller, like a dog actually dies in a fight with a mountain lion, and like just because of the relationship and like just everything that the boy went through to get this dog, and he loved this dog. Like he didn't have any like brothers and sisters, so it was kind of like a sibling to him, and like they went everywhere, they did everything. Like he would wait to get home from school just to go see his dog and everything. And
right,
when the dog finally dies, yeah, like oh man, it is like just so sad. And you see him just like kneeling over the dog crying and stuff. Ugh, like it's rough. So yeah, that's my number 8 is Where the Red Fern Grows. So. But if you haven't seen it, like if you want a good G, just like totally clean, watch it with your parents, watch it with like little kids. You can watch it with like literally anyone. Like it's clean, yeah. Yeah, right. Yeah, the dog does die, and it is sad, but it's not like real brutal or like it doesn't show any brutality. Mm-hmm. But Chris, what's your number 8?
My number 8 is actually, I think, going to surprise maybe some people, but I know I did a review of it. I know I kind of talked about it. The Elvis movie. The Elvis movie blew me away. Like, I'm glad I saw it in theaters.
Still haven't seen it.
It was freaking fantastic from beginning to end. Like, there were definitely, like when if you know anything about Elvis's life, there's a part in there where he finds out his mom dies. And so that whole scene where he's dealing with that, because I'm still trying not to spoil anything because it's a literally brand new movie.
Yeah.
But it's an incredible performance, and Tom Hanks' performance as Colonel Parker is fantastic. Like, I didn't really know that much about Elvis's life until that one, and kind of how trapped he was. Like here's Elvis, and he kind of wanted to like push out even further, but he was kind of confined through this life of performing. But yeah,
I've heard a lot of people say that they'd like to see Tom Hanks maybe play more of like a villain role in like some movies because they say he did such a good job in that. So yeah, we'll see. But Austin, what's your number?
Okay. So mine's a combo as well. I'm cheating a little bit, but they sort of tie into each other. So it's 2 sequences in both The Fly and The Fly 2, and I'll explain. Okay. So The Fly, which I don't want to spoil too much. Actually, you know what? I probably shouldn't because Jacob is watching it or is going to watch it for our show. Or
I will be watching it.
Okay, so he hasn't seen it yet. So you know what? I'm gonna hold off on talking about The Fly. So so I'll just say the ending of The Fly. That's all I'll say. Anyways, and so I'll say that. But The Fly 2, which it will be surprising. The Fly 2 is another movie that has a sneaky sad dog scene that sneaks up on you. So there's a sequence where basically it's Eric Stoltz is kind of the subject of the movie, but he's confined to this company where they're trying to replicate what Jeff Goldblum did in the original movie with the teleportation stuff, and it's not really working like they want it to. They start testing it on mice and animals and things, and they want to do something bigger. So they kind of take his dog, just saying they're going to borrow it, and they put him in the teleportation thing, and it horribly disfigures him. Like it turns him into basically like this flattened, half out of whack, like eye off to the side, like just thing, like unrecognizable thing. And he doesn't know this until it gets to like a little ways later, and he breaks in, like he goes exploring the facility he's not supposed to be in, and he sees this pit, like the sequence, and there's an observation thing, and the dog comes crawling out of this hole, and it's just eating like slop, and he's still alive, and he was told he was dead, and he's still alive, and he's just like this horribly disfigured mess, and it's really sad. And like he goes in to see the dog, and the dog like kind of snaps at him for a second, but then smells him and starts wagging his tail. And it's like, no, don't do this. Stoltz like starts like petting him, and it's like the one, like you can tell it's the one thing where he's been in like all his agony, and he finally has a moment, and then Stoltz puts him down with like this ether stuff like on his face and like puts him to sleep, and like, it's a sneaky because it comes out of nowhere because he has like a dog in the movie, and you're like, don't do the dog stuff to me again, don't sneak up on me with dog stuff when he's not the subject, and then kill me with it in the middle of the movie. And it's a sneaky good scene in what's otherwise just kind of an okay horror movie, but it kills me like every time. Again, dogs in peril, I don't like it. That's why I don't. And it's the ones that sneak up on you that they don't advertise, that like the dog is like it's different when it's like the dog is the star of the movie, like a Marley and Me situation, and it's like the dog's going to be in it. It's like when they don't do that, it comes out of nowhere, and that's the ones that get me like all the time. So it's a strange pick, but like it does. Like if you see the sequence, even if you just watch it on YouTube, like the actual scene, if you look up the Fly 2 dog sequence, like it's killer.
I'll look it up.
It kills you. Yeah.
Check it out. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, sounds good. Jacob, what's your number 8?
My number 8. Now this might seem like a weird pick, but we were just told movies that made us cry. Mm-hmm. We didn't say movies that made us cry because we're sad.
Oh, yeah, right. Cry.
Yeah.
So, and I know it might seem strange, but I still get emotional and a little like I'm so happy for Charlie at the end of Willy Wonka. like him and his family.
Yes.
Like we know what's coming. Like despite how much of a jerk Grandpa Joe seems to be now that we know that he can finally walk, but like just seeing a single mother taking care of four grandparents and Charlie, using his paper route money to buy bread for his family instead of like, hey, I have however much money, I'm going to go buy some chocolate because I like chocolate. Like, no, he's thinking about his family. I'm like, you want good things to happen to this family. He makes it through the chocolate factory tour, and guess what? The prize is the factory. Like, you and your family are now set, and like it makes me so happy. Like, that is a movie that I've seen probably 432 times. It's not an official number, but it's probably somewhere close to there.
Yeah.
And like I still like just a little emotion every single time. Like, I'm so happy for Charlie. That hug between him and Willy Wonka at the end, like, such a feel good moment. I love it. So not a sad cry, more of a happy, maybe just a single tear or something. Like,
I think my number 3 is a similar cry. I'll explain when we get to it.
Yeah.
So because it's not a sad moment. It's like a similar. Yeah. But to defend Grandpa Joe, at least in one sequence, because I agree with you, but at least when they're doing the test at the end, where Wonka like snaps on Charlie basically for the everlasting gobstopper, Grandpa Joe, to his credit, does stand up and he's like, "Bro, you can't just like take a kid's dream and smash it to a million pieces. Like, you're a crook and a swindler. Like, just because we did this like one thing, like do it. Don't, who cares about me? Like, do it for the kid. You know what I mean? Like, it's like he at least stands up for him.
Yeah,
I'll say that.
Yeah.
You know,
how long it took me to realize that Grandpa Joe was the voice of the old guy in The Fox and the Hound?
What?
Oh, really? Oh, he is.
He is?
Yeah. Like the neighbor, the dog owner. Like it's
God, The Fox and the
Grandpa
Hound is
Joe.
one of those.
I think it was one of his last roles.
Yeah, speaking of a sad movie, Fox and the Hound. But
Ugh.
yeah, like Willy Wonka, yeah, it's one of those movies where it's like fake out, like you get nothing, good day, sir, but then it's like
yes,
we got the end, then like they actually do get something really awesome. So yeah, but I'm realizing though, I keep forgetting to use my graphics that I have, so I'm just gonna throw them up here. There's old Yeller right there. Then I have Where the Red Fern Grows, which is an older movie, but there it is. So,
wait, you didn't have a one set for me for The Fly too? How dare you?
Nope, sorry. You got to come with your own graphics for that.
All right,
yeah.
I think you should just know also that if there's a dog on the poster.
Oh, that's what I mean. That's why I didn't see that's why I didn't see the Channing Tatum movie. He's on the poster and it's called Dog. I don't want to see that.
So,
He's probably gonna die. I don't want to see that shit.
Yeah.
I know what's gonna. You can't fool me.
Yeah.
Don't do that to me. I'm skipping that.
Well, we'll see if we have any crossovers here. Also, because my next one for my number 7 is the first 5 minutes of Up. So
that's my number 6.
You can talk about it now.
Okay.
So
yeah, that's fine. Yeah, we can talk about it now. Yeah. And if you want to chime in with anything, but yeah, like it just gets me. It's one of those that was like completely unexpected. Like I did not expect that going in, and for it to get you within 5 minutes or even less, like how long the sequence is, like just seeing like how he meets his wife and you see him sitting on the chair together, and then you see her coming to the window, and then you see one of the sequences where she's not at the window anymore. Like actually don't have it here, so it's just like really, really sad, and like it kind of sets the tone for the whole movie. But then after that, like the only thing you can do to just go up from there. So it does get a lot happier, but like man, that first 5 minutes. Whew.
To me, it's when he's and when everybody at the funeral's gone, he's still just holding the balloon, sitting in the chair.
Yeah,
like that's the killer. Like we're just like, oh god damn, dude.
Yes.
Like, it's the worst.
I agree. Yeah, I agree. Like this is my number 6. I agree with everything you said. I think the rest of the movie is great still, but if this like first 10 minutes was on its own, like it could arguably be the greatest like animated short of all time.
Yeah, it could have been.
Like the problem is that it ends on such a down note that it's like you wouldn't want to watch it again. If it was a short.
Yeah,
because it ends on such a down note, but it's so well made. No, I agree. It tells a better whole life story than most movies do in a whole movie. Realistically, in the in that 8 or 10 minutes or whatever. Like it's crazy.
Yeah. And speaking of the Pixar shorts, I mean, you could add almost any of them to this list. And like for me, like I wanted to give a shout out. I thought that one Bow. That one always gets me. The one about the little dumpling. That one always gets me. So yeah, like ooh, but yeah.
And Ellie just seems like such a great wife. Like there's like that sequence when what's Carl when he gets his the paint on the mailbox. She doesn't get upset. Like, oh, here, let me do mine too. Like, they're just
right,
perfect for each other, and it's
he just shows how much she cares about him. Yeah, yeah. Well, Chris, what's your number 7?
Oh, I feel like this one doesn't actually be higher for me, but Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the first live action movie.
Okay.
So I remember loving the comic books and seeing that movie in theaters, especially, of course. It's kind of not really spoiler at this point. When a Splinter dies, like that just wrecks me.
But he doesn't die though.
We think he dies, okay?
Well, okay. We should clarify. Yeah. You probably mean the sequence when they're meditating and he talks to them and he says, "I have always loved you, my sons. And I will always be with you." Like, you think he's going to die. But to clarify, he says "Cowabunga" at the end of the movie and he saves the day and kills Splinter. He's still alive.
Right. Okay. Well, still, when you think he dies and that yell just gets me every time. Yeah. I remember seeing it in theaters and it just destroyed me.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That and when Leo's watching Raphael in the tub when they're at the
Master
Yes.
like that one
right,
that was
right
pretty.
yeah.
That's sick.
yeah.
Dude,
Figure,
I'm still so jealous that you have the
the
car,
turtle van.
the turtle van,
Or-
man, because that
yeah.
thing is so
Back
expensive now. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, right.
I need like $600 to own a Funko Pop, a turtle van.
Yeah, when you see those big ones, you got to jump on them, or they're going to go up in price. Yeah, but Austin, what's your number 7?
Okay, so I have another unconventional, strange pick because it's another sequence that comes out of nowhere in the movie. But when you're watching Ernest Goes to Camp, and they get to the point where there's a sequence where they find out they're going to have to close the camp because the construction crew has like bought the camp, like because they tricked the guy into signing the paperwork, and they decide they're going to do that. And there's a montage where Jim Varney is singing in the rain, and he's singing "Gee, I'm Glad It's Raining." He's like, dude, this whole musical sequence where he sings a song, and the way he sings it is devastating. It is absolutely devastating. Like if you haven't got, like, again, it's another sequence you can watch on YouTube. But Jim Varney, like the way he sings it, he's a great singer, and like you just come out of nowhere, and he sings it in the movie, and it's heartbreaking. Like it kills me. Like so, it's a sequence that it completely comes out of nowhere because the rest of the movie doesn't have like musical sequences or songs or whatever, and it just kind of happens. But it's really, really good. So it sneaks up on you again, and it kills you. So
I kind of forgot about that. That scene, wrecks you. Yeah, so good.
Well, Jim Varney, one of the things that like he was great at is all of his facial expressions. He had like he was very expressive to be happy, sad, and just like even disgusted, like all that stuff. So yeah. But yeah, cool. Jacob, what's your number 7?
My number 7 is Train to Busan. Specifically the ending of that movie.
Oh yeah.
The ending of that movie gets me every time.
Yeah, the little girl.
I mean, but even before that, like just seeing the father-daughter relationship, like the father's kind of a more business, and like that's what his focus is, and then like he realizes that like no, I need to be more of a father, and like his focus is now making sure that his daughter is safe. And we get towards the end of that movie, and spoilers if you haven't seen this movie, but he ends up kind of having to make a sacrifice and letting one of the zombies get him, and while his daughter and one of the ladies that they meet on the train are able to go to safety, and them coming out of that tunnel while the daughter is singing while crying. Like that is just one of the hardest scenes to watch for me personally. Like it gets me every time. I've seen this movie probably half a dozen times, and that scene still gets me the same, like it did the first time I watched it. That scene is just it's and shout out to that. She's gotta be like 5 or 6 years old. Like that little girl is phenomenal.
Yeah,
like, in that movie. Like not just that scene, but like throughout the movie, she's great. But man, that scene in particular just gets me every time.
Yeah. When I first saw it, like I didn't have time to really sit down and watch the entire dubbed version. I tried to, but then I was busy doing other things. I have to keep looking at my phone to try to like squint and read all the subtitles while I was doing other stuff. So I just switched over to the dub version. When I got to that specific scene, though, I was like, hold up, I gotta like pause and take a minute here, go back and actually watch it where it's dubbed and see the whole thing, because like it hits so much harder like in the like actual Korean. But
all right,
but yeah, well, see, my number 6, and it's been mentioned, so I don't know if anyone else gonna have it, but I have Coco on there. So, but just the scene at the end, most of all, but also just like the overall theme of the movie too, because like I'm a big family history person. Like I like being able to look at my ancestors, where they come from, and like be able to like read stories about them and be able to tell people about them. I wish I was a better journal writer, because I'm not, because I have a major ADD, so I can't really like sit down and like write my history out. But like I've done a couple of episodes on the channel. I've done like 2 or 3. I want to do some more where I'm just talking about like things going on, and so I can be remembered for my posterity. But like there's one of the lines and I don't know the exact quote, but like basically when we're talking to the little skeleton guy, I forget the name of him, but he's like,
Hector.
He's like,
yes,
yeah, Hector, yeah. We're talking to Hector, and he's like if we don't tell these stories of our ancestors, then they get forgotten, and like that is kind of true, because it's like how many people that have lived and just like come and gone, and nobody remembers them. That there's kind of like a blip on the map kind of thing, and so it's like I hope people remember me, but like who knows? I don't know. But and then at the end when he's singing with his grandma, because I was really close with my great grandma. Being a CNA, I gotta take care of her quite a bit near the end of her life, and like we would sit and we watch a lot of Lakers games. She was a big Kobe Bryant fan. She also was a big Tiger Woods fan. So she was big into sports, and she knew a lot like about sports. She knew all the stats. She would keep stats with me. So like we got pretty into it with those specifically, and so just kind of seeing where like the whole movie, she's just silent. She doesn't say anything. She doesn't really move or really do anything. But then you start singing this song, "Remember Me," and she perks up and she starts singing. And I've seen that actually multiple times working in a nursing home too, where like there's one in specifically where we had this lady in a nursing home that like I would walk around, but she would never talk. She would never say anything. And then the one night I'm working the overnight shift and I hear somebody talking. I'm like, what's going on? And then I hear some singing, and I'm in this facility like in the middle of the night all by myself. Like it's a smaller one. We only had I think like 13 residents in a small little nursing home. But then I walk over and it's this lady, and I never heard her talk or like let alone sing, and like she just singing like, and they say that like certain things can like trigger things in like a person's brain, even if you have dementia, then they'll kind of perk you up like that. And so like it almost kind of creeped me out when I saw that. I'm like, whoa, she's like singing, she is talking. I'm working here a year and I never heard her say a single word. So yeah, but like just Coco, just a whole movie just really relates a lot to me. And then also I just like how they depict the Latino culture too, that they just really show that it's all about family, and like it just gives me a greater appreciation for the whole culture in general. So yeah, that'll be my number 7 or my number 6.
Your talk about working in a nursing home and stuff reminded me of another one that I should have put on my honorable mentions, and that's Awakenings with Robin Williams. And that movie had some moments that got me.
Yeah, and that's a good one that I watched for the first time just earlier this year. Yeah,
me too.
It's good. Yeah, but Chris, what's your number 6?
So I feel like this one's probably going to be a crossover. Well, A Land Before Time.
That was my honorable mention, but that's it. So you can talk about it.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah, Land Before Time gets me every time. It's just, I remember crying in theaters. It was a great movie. I don't think I really need to iterate it for those that have probably seen it. It's a solid movie. Although I feel like a dork because you guys have like pinned down like pivotal moments in the films. Like,
well,
this is it. This is detailed. This is when I cried. Like, and I'm just like, the whole movie was pretty damn sad. I mean, but of course, when his mom dies. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and then it's like first he finally gets reunited with her, and so it's a happy moment. But then when she dies, and it's like, geez, like you gotta like push the knife in a little further there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, and also too, like I like how all the relationships that he builds with his friends, and you see the like friendships that he has to kind of bond together in a time where like there's that great earth shake they say or whatever, and they're all being separated. So this is all he's got, and so he's gotta cling to what he's got, So yeah, and they survive like the T-Rex, shark tooth, or whatever. So yeah, all that. But yeah, solid pick. Austin, what's your number 6?
My number 6 is Inside Out. If I need to punt, let me know.
No, it was an honorable mention of mine.
So
You're
2 words: Bing Bong.
Yes. Yes.
Yep. When he has to give the extra boost, so that Joy can make the jump, and he fades into nothingness essentially. It's rough, and that whole movie is just it's interesting when you think about it. You wonder if that's actually how your brain works. I'm fascinated by the sequence in that movie. I know this is a slight tangent, but the sequence where like the workers are like sucking up the memories with like the vacuum cleaner.
Yes.
You know, they're like, oh, you don't need that anymore. They don't need that anymore. Like this random day, that random day. You know, and it's like, you know, you wonder if like that's kind of, you know, how it works, and if something like that just, you know, just fades into oblivion. It's crazy, you know. But yeah, it's a pretty devastating sequence. Yeah, just the whole ending of the Bing Bong, and especially, you know, it's Richard Kind, man. Who doesn't like Richard Kind? You know, even just as an actor. So it's a rough sequence. You know, there's other sequences that get people, but yeah, it wasn't really much of that. It's just, you know, so it's the Bing Bong sequence. Yeah, that kills me.
I've always felt like that kind of like is like, oh, so that could be like our inside of our head.
Yeah,
I always kind of felt like, okay, somebody is like looking inside my head and they see this other world that we don't see.
Yeah. Well, and it's always so weird just how the brain works. Like something can, like somebody else that experienced the same memory that you had, maybe you didn't have, like triggers your memory of that, you know, and you can be like, oh yeah, I completely forgot about that, and then you remember like the entire day.
Or when some people have those like, you know, they have that idea that they died basically, or and then they see certain things.
Yeah,
you know,
the brain is a weird thing, man. The brain is a fascinating thing. We still don't understand how it works. So that's a good stuff.
Pixar realized they were so good at emotions that they decided to make an entire movie about it.
Yeah, basically, essentially. So, well, and Coco also kind of deals with that. Like I was watching Coco, and like a couple of those ideas are similar to Inside Out about the whole like if you forget somebody, they kind of like disappear, and it was like dude starts to turn into Marty McFly at the end of the Back to the Future, like away. And it's weird. And well, it also made me wonder. So what happens when you're already dead and then you fade away again? Are you dying again? Like what is that?
Right.
Like is
that the sequel?
Yeah, like where's that? Where did they go? Where did they go after that? After the Land of the Dead? Like that's
right, because the older guy dies. Yeah, disappears.
Yeah, it's just strange. Oh. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway,
we'll find out. I think that they might do a sequel to Inside Out. I don't know. We'll see. But so you never know. But Jacob, what's your number 6?
My number 6 was Up. So we already talked about it.
Nice.
Okay. Sounds good.
Cool. And I'm really bad about showing off my graphics here. I had the Coco one here that like shows when she's with her dad.
Again, Jordan, you didn't have Ernest Goes to Camp queued up and ready to go.
Yeah.
How dare you?
No.
He's clearly.
You can quickly find it if you want. But,
no, I love that all my picks are just like what?
Yeah.
Also, I think that song is so much better done like slower. Like the actual song is more of up tempo, and I'm like, no, it works so much better as kind of this slower, more emotional song. So I'm really glad that was in the movie.
That scene is crazy. Yeah, go watch it.
Oh look. Oh yeah, and also a shout out Mike Schaefer in the chat. He was asking if anyone brought up Neverending Story.
Christian.
Oh yeah, man. I talked about it earlier. Mike is so good.
He said it's like several moments in that movie, not just the horse stuff. Yeah, just several moments in there.
I need to rewatch that because it's a lot.
Yeah, it's been a while since I rewatched it. I need to go.
I feel like there's Neverending Story 1 and maybe 2, and I feel like 2 was just kind of weird.
Well, there's a third one with Jack Black as the bully antagonist. That's
really.
But it's quite bad. It's the kid. It's the main kid from the Free Willy movies, and then Jack Black is the bully antagonist who gets a hold of the book and starts messing with them. And it's not good. Don't watch it. It's not good. No, there's a very bad sequence where
I do remember that. Effect. Yes, the movie was
very bad.
Well,
yes.
The very first memory that I ever have of going to see any movie in a theater was Neverending Story. I saw that in theaters. Like that's the first thing I remember. So,
one of mine was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Saw that live action.
But I definitely saw that.
Guys dressed up in ninja costumes performing nunchuck tricks.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
First one I remember is Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
Nice. Yeah. Well. My number 5, we'll see if anyone has it, but it's a movie About Time, so it's on there, and this movie gets me just because of like, and not just the relationship between Domhnall Gleeson and Rachel McAdams, but even
it's the Bill Nighy shit, dude.
Yeah,
the Rachel McAdams stuff. It's the Bill Nighy stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's what I'm getting to. I'm gonna say like it's not really what you would think it is. It ends up being the Bill Nye stuff with his dad. Yeah, and like that. Like you kind of realize that, like as he travels through a time, there's like certain things that keep changing, like his son and like I don't know, like different things that are all around him. And then he finally gets to a point where it's the last time or last moment he's gonna have with his dad, and like the whole ping pong scene where they're playing ping pong together, and it's like literally like the last time he's ever gonna see his dad, and he got this extra time that he was lucky enough to get, but now it's all gone, and it's a really emotional scene. Like that movie's really, really good. So yeah, that'll be my number 5. It's about time.
All right.
Yeah, so if you haven't seen it, go check it out. But yeah, what's your number 5? Chris?
My number 5 is Dead Poets Society. I feel like this is probably going to be a crossover. No,
but that's a good one.
Surprisingly, we don't have a lot of crossover, but that's good because we're having a lot of different movies for maybe people to go revisit or scenes to check out or whatever. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, Dead Poets Society is so good, and that scene where he comes in there and finds his son just destroys me, and it's just like
I did not see that coming either.
Yeah,
no, me either. Like. And I don't care how many times I've seen that movie. I've probably seen it 100+ times because it's one of the movies like, if it's on, I'm going to watch it. It doesn't matter. But I'm also going to bawl like a baby. Like, it's guaranteed.
Yeah, well, Dead Poet Society, that's my dad's favorite movie, so we always have a connection over that, too. Like, he's a huge fan. So I got him one year for his birthday, like an old Captain My Captain shirt that it says, like, Professor Keating on there. Yeah.
Very cool.
But then he has Carpe Diem, like, in different places in the house, too. So, yeah. But Austin, yeah. Yeah.
I love that scene.
Yeah. But Austin, what's your number 5?
My number 5 is our thumbnail for the evening. It's Interstellar.
Okay.
No, I mean it's something. Yeah, and it's specifically pretty much that scene. It's.
Do you have a graphic for that?
Yeah,
there it is.
I know it's been kind of turned into a meme, but when you watch the actual movie and the relationship that he has with Murph and like when he gets these messages and sees her growing up, and he's barely aged because of the way that the time works in the movie, and he gets these messages and some of them it's basically Jessica Chastain slowly giving up on him, which is the most devastating part of just being like, why did you leave? Like, you shouldn't have left, like you should have stayed with me. We're forgetting about you, all this stuff. And like, for him, it's only been like a couple of years, but for her, it's been like 30 years. And it's rough, man. Like, and he just starts bawling his eyes out, like, just thinking about all the stuff he missed. And like, it's rough, man. And then when he sees her at the end of the movie and she's like, 90 years old or whatever, he finally gets to see her at the end. Like, it's pretty crazy. So yeah, it's a movie that I love to pieces, but yeah, that scene gets me every time, man. It's rough. Yeah. McConaughey's performance is incredible in that movie. Like, he's so good. He's really, really good.
Yeah, even when you see Casey Affleck talking to they're talking about like his kids are already growing up and like all the time that's passed and what he's missing too. Like, yeah, just get you. Yeah, but which I wonder like if they've been able to prove that this time moved faster in like different parts of the universe or something. It's kind of
it does. No, I mean it's a real thing, and that's actually the setup for. If you ever saw the original Planet of the Apes with Charlton Heston, that's what happens is they go on this rocket trip essentially to like the other side of the galaxy. And the way time works is they're near this like black hole and stuff. And then by the time they get back, it's only been like 40 years for them or whatever, but it's been like 4,000 years on Earth. And then when they get back, it's the Planet of the Apes. So it's like that's how.
I didn't think of that scene. God, dude.
So that's the same concept as Interstellar. Is they go so far out, and it's a certain different time for them as opposed to back here, and that's how the Planet of the Apes is set up, the original one. So
that ending is brutal.
Yeah.
You blew it up, you maniacs.
You blew it up, you maniacs.
Yep. Well, Jacob, what's your number 5?
My number 5 is Toy Story 3.
Oh, punt.
Okay, so punt. Okay, all right. Sounds good.
I have a recent story about that. So punt.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely.
All right. Well, then we'll go to mine. My number 4 is Marley and Me. So
I'm not watching it. I'm not watching it.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah,
I've watched it one time.
I've never actually sat down and watched it because I know what happens and I refuse. I'm just not going
torture. Okay.
Nope. I'm not doing it.
So you want to know one of the worst things? So I'll let you talk about the movie, then I'll tell my story.
Oh yeah. Well, I was just gonna say, like, I think that's like a cruel joke that God plays on us that like dogs only live like 12, 13 years. Like, and sometimes they live a little longer than that if you're lucky, but it's like you're always gonna see it, your pets die. Like, it's just gonna happen. So, but yeah, like, it's just really sad because like it's eventually coming, but you see from beginning to end how they get this dog, the golden lab, I think it is.
Right back.
And like it. They're kind of having like a little bit of relationships issues from Owen Wilson and Jennifer Aniston, and it kind of brings them together and makes them closer. And man, like Jennifer Aniston, and she's just a great crier. She can cry on cue, and then like it's like really believable and like really emotional, like even from Friends or like some of those other movies, like the Breakup, some of those, like she's just really good and believable at that kind of stuff. And I had a little graphic here that I actually wanted to bring up. Let me see if I have. Yeah, so this quote here though, like I just like just something that like makes dogs so great, that a dog doesn't care if it's rich or poor, clever, dull, smart, dumb. Give him your heart and he'll give you his. How many people can you say that about? And it's like so true. Like even if you like mistreat a dog and like you come home, there's like they forget all about it. They're just happy to see you. They come down to the door. They're just smiling and just like they're always happy and for the most part. And so yeah, like it's just like pretty sad to watch. Even though I think it's coming, but yeah, Marley and Me gets me every time. I've seen it probably about like 6 or 7 times. Like I would watch it more if it wasn't so dang sad. But yeah.
So when I worked at RC Willey, part of one of my jobs was basically being a greeter up front. So people would come in to get a salesman. Well, they had movies playing on the TVs. Well, one of the TVs was always queued to Marley and Me, so I probably saw it 50 times. Like,
oh wow,
literally talk about just like getting stabbed in the heart over and over and over again. It's just torture. That movie is just torture. Yeah.
It's like Chris in the middle of a work shift, and it's like, "Hi, welcome to RC Willey."
They're just like, no.
He's like sobbing.
Can't you just play like a really fluffy comedy all day? That doesn't devastate you. Like something fluffy and light with like no stakes. Play the most vanilla, fluffy movie, or just some action movie that doesn't have any emotion or anything. Just,
I remember also seeing
play one of the saddest dog movies.
That weird live action Jim Carrey. Christmas Carol movie too.
Oh yeah. Oh, they showed that a lot.
I played that on repeat over again too.
Yeah, that was a little so creepy weird. Almost. Yeah, yeah. Well,
so we're getting some major ASMR right now.
Yeah,
I was helping outside selling popcorn selling hot dogs the other day at Albertsons, and a guy rolled up. He was also doing kettle corn, and he literally comes over to us. And he hands us a large bag of kettle corn.
Oh man!
And he says, "You guys can have as much as you want." And I'm like, "You're underestimating like my ability to eat kettle corn."
Yeah, like
how
much?
Just like,
how much popcorn you can eat? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I've seen it. I've seen you literally destroy a large bucket and then go back for a refill on your own.
I haven't done that in a while. Like man, but yeah.
That's like they used to say Mark Ellis could do that. He could go through like 2 tubs of popcorn. And like, how could you? Like dude, I get full after like a small one. How could you possibly do that?
Yeah, right.
No way.
So I've been trying not to open this thing and like eat it, but I've kind of been gnawing on it.
Yeah, that looks good.
Just get some people like, "What are you like sneaking in your mouth?" Sorry.
Yeah. Here you go. Kid. There you go.
For tonight, anyways.
Yeah, basically, Mike, absolutely.
Yeah, but Chris, what's your number 4?
It is Saving Private Ryan.
Yeah,
such an insanely good movie, and oh my gosh, movie is so many sad parts throughout. Saving Private Ryan's an incredible movie from beginning to end.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, especially when they like have to break the news to Matt Damon. Like I think
Yes,
like all his brothers died or something like that, and it's like, oh yeah. Like I was really late to the party for whatever reason. Like I only saw Saving Private Ryan like 2 years ago or something for the first time.
Wow.
I don't know why I waited so long, but
it's even worse for the mom to find out one by one that all your kids are dying in the war. Like you get those letters and those visits. That's even worse.
Yeah, it's crazy. but Austin, what's your number 4?
So sue me. Bruce Willis's monologue in Armageddon gets me. I don't care what anybody says. Look, when he's on the video with Liv Tyler and you know telling about how he'll look in on you from time to time and stuff like that, and I gotta go now. So oh god, it's the worst. And she's bawling her eyes out and going, "No, Dad, no!" Like it might be like Michael Bay's best film scene ever, honestly. It might be like it's. I love Armageddon to pieces, and so kill me. That scene gets me. I mean, he's good, scene, man. Bruce Willis is great in that scene. Liv Tyler's great in that scene. The way it builds up, they're both great. So I mean,
I don't know why I kind of forget about that movie. I need to own that.
Yeah.
You can find it in the Criterion collection.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
Yeah, you should pick up that one.
That's a fun fact.
Yeah, right. Yeah, well.
I have the Criterion double disc DVD of Armageddon.
So
classic Michael Bay movie.
Is it on 4K or just Blu-ray?
It's not on 4K yet. I'm gonna pick it because I haven't picked up the Blu-ray. I mean, you get the Blu-ray for like $6 on Amazon. It's like nothing. But yeah, like I'm waiting for it to come out on 4K. It should definitely needs to be. So that may be a weird thing because literally Criterion owns the distribution rights and they're starting to do 4Ks now. So and same thing with The Rock. The Rock is also on the Criterion.
Oh, what?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I love The Rock so much. Oh,
he's
so good.
Yeah, he's a pretty good actor.
Yeah. I found a little bit of a jackpot the other day. So I went over to Big Lots that's just down the road because I had a job for work there, and they had like a bunch of steelbooks there for like $1.25. So I got like all the Mission Impossible on Blu-ray, and then I already had them on DVD, but I'm like, well, it's time for an upgrade.
Big Lots?
This shit.
Like
Big Lots.
Like recently?
Yeah, like recently.
Yeah, I'm going to Big Lots tomorrow.
Yeah, right. So they had all of those.
I'll say this. I usually the Dollar Tree shit, like not Dollar. I mean, I know you're talking about Big Lots, but Dollar Tree sells Blu-rays and stuff occasionally and DVDs. I found a few DVDs there. I found like Purple Rose of Cairo and but I did get a Blu-ray of Cheap Thrills, that movie I talked about one time. For $1, like at Dollar Tree. So occasionally they have okay stuff. But like I'll have to go to and see what Big Lots is going on if they got some if I can find the same ones. Like I'll check that out. Yeah,
they had some Marvel movies there for like 75 cents on Blu-ray too. They had like Ant-Man and the Wasp there, and I picked up Miss Marvel and a few Marvel movies there. So yeah,
damn, I have the first 3 Mission Impossible still on DVD and the last 4 on 4K. So I'll have to see if those steelbooks.
I have the whole Mission Impossible collection on Blu-ray.
Yeah,
I stole that.
If you can find the steelbooks there, that'd be
nice.
That'd be a good find. But yeah. So, Jacob, what's your
Speaking of steelbooks, really quick, I'll be sending you, Jordan. I upgraded Casino to 4K. It was $10 on Amazon the other day, and you'll be getting my Casino steelbook Blu-ray. That's really nice.
nice, yeah.
It's actually a really cool. Like it's just like a deck of cards on the front. It's like a green steelbook. It's really nice.
Oh, nice.
The steelbook collection I want is the John Wick ones. Those are beautiful.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, same.
But, all right, sorry, Jacob. We're on steelbooks.
No, it's fine. I was checking mine now.
I like steelbooks. Steelbooks are cool.
Yeah.
I have a BVS. I have a BVS steelbook that's dope. It's like the front and back post. Remember they did those posters? It was Batman with like the Superman logo on top of them, and like Superman with like the Batman cowl on his face. And it was like the dual posters
across the face.
Yeah, the front and back of the steelbook is those. So it's pretty. Dope.
I was over at Half Price Books here, and I almost picked it up. Like. They had the complete Dark Knight trilogy on Blu-ray.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I almost picked it up because I don't have those movies on Blu-ray.
Yeah, worth
I have them on DVD somewhere.
I can't catch them on 4. I don't know if you have 4K capabilities, but I saw the 4K set on for like $30 one time on Amazon on special. So look out for it. They do it occasionally. Yeah.
There you go.
And
where do I sign up for the Pez Blu-ray club?
Listen, if you want me to talk Blu-rays, I could talk Blu-rays all day. I mean, I don't know if Mike, like I talk about occasionally. I'm definitely a physical like media collector. So I have over 2,500 physical media things across the way from me. I'm like literally looking at it right now. I can't really turn the thing around now. I used to be able to with my tablet, but I'm on a Chromebook now. But I'll show you this. I had so many that I have to catalog them with an app now called CLZ Movies.
What do you use? CLZ Movies.
Look at the top of CLZ Movies, 2,543 movies.
Oh man,
I have logged into my CLZ. Those are all ones I've scanned in from my collection. So yeah, I have that many movies over there. So I am definitely a movie collector. So yeah, I should do one where I just showcase like different shit in my collection. We did that before on one of the podcast episodes where I was showing off the box.
We did.
Remember?
Yeah, yeah.
If you want to go back to that, you can see it.
I was thinking, like a show would be cool. Like sort of like Dan Murrow does, where he shows off all of his like DVD collection.
If I did,
like you
one
and
by
Jacob,
one,
you guys both got a lot.
One by one, it'd be a long video.
Oh, yeah.
I think somebody showed one, and it was
not one by one. But
yeah,
it'd be multiple episodes, but yeah.
So the one collection that I've been wanting to get, but it's still been pretty damn expensive, is the complete Jason collection in that beautiful set.
Yeah, I have that. I gave the Screen Factory one or the
Screen Factory one. Yes,
the one I showed off on the episode. Yeah, it was on sale on Amazon for $90 the other day.
Yes, $90. God, I wish
that's actually a really good deal for $90 because it's usually about 100, 150. I got it on sale for 100 somewhere. Right. So, but that was a really good deal. That's a great set. Great set. Yeah, it looks good on the shelf, man. Great artwork. I love Screen Factory.
Yeah. Well, Jacob, getting back to it. What's your number 4?
We'll do an episode of the Pez Blu-ray Club in the future. But yes, where we just talk about steelbook sets and box sets and all kinds of shit.
Yeah.
Anyways,
my number 4. I'm kind of cheating and calling an audible because as we were talking that and my number 4. I'm kind of cheating a little bit, but Hugh Jackman is in both of these movies. Okay. So that's where I'm kind of making the tie-in. But it's Logan and Les Mis, like the Hugh Jackman one. Yeah. So just that one real quick. Anne Hathaway in that movie is heartbreaking. That song that she sings and the emotion that she delivers in that scene is just heartbreaking. I go back and I watch that. Like that is just that's probably like one of the best musical sequences I've seen. And she's just laying down singing. Yeah, there's no choreography. There's nothing else to it. She's just singing and the emotion that she's able to display. And oh my goodness, she's in the movie for like 20 minutes and wins Best Supporting Actress. Like that's how powerful her performance was in that movie. Like that stuff is just heartbreaking. And then Logan, another Hugh Jackman movie. See, that's where I'm making the connection. I'm able to cheat. Like when Patrick Stewart dies, when Logan finally goes, like that stuff is just oh my god. Because again, we've grown to know these characters for 15 years now, and I think it's some of both of their best work in the X-Men franchise. Some of Hugh Jackman's best. Period. Like I'm a huge Hugh Jackman fan. I think I've made it known that he's one of my favorite actors. He's in the top 2.
Same. I'm a big fan.
Yeah, like and then when Daphne King is, the emotion she's able to display and calling him daddy, like that stuff gets me. Like if I'm a sympathy crier, also like if people are emotional, like I even if like I'll start to get emotional with you. Like I'm Let's do this. Me and you. We need to cry together. Let's
all right, Jacob. Together. We'll do a watch along of The Fly when you go to watch it, and we'll see if you try. And me and you.
Yeah.
Well, now that I know what to prepare for, now I know like, all right, when's it gonna get here?
No, it just adds to like.
I want to do a watch.
A great movie. You need to watch it. So yeah.
Well, it's a very tragic movie. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a total tragedy. It's a tragedy tale. So by the time you get to the end of it, Anyway.
But now that we have a Patreon, we could do some of those watch-alongs if we wanted to.
We can do watch-alongs on Patreon, do like commentary watch-along things. Yeah, because
that would be great.
Patreon,
yes.
Because on Patreon, there are patrons who, you see those reactors on YouTube, like they show like the 20 or 30 minutes of the thing. But if you actually record, they do them on Vimeo or whatever, and you can actually it'll show the movie while they're doing the reaction, so like you can do that.
The whole movie.
It's behind a paywall. Yeah. So we could at one point do a watch along.
Yeah,
a podcast league now watch along of some movie and comment.
Yes.
On it.
Well,
that movie will be Marley and Me.
Oh,
I'm getting sick.
Yeah.
I don't think I can be on there.
Die Hard.
I gotta run to the bathroom. I have diarrhea. Sorry, I can't be here.
He went to go pee like an hour and a half ago. Where'd he go?
He never came back. Yeah, but
he's okay.
Yeah, but for my next three, I picked them. Don't worry, I'm not revealing them all here, but they're very unconventional picks that like you maybe wouldn't associate with me, but they're like, because I rank mine on like terms of what really makes me cry and like how hard that I cry, and so like the ones that make me cry more go up at the top of the list. So number 3, the movie Brother Bear, the Disney movie, like like that movie just gets me so much because so you have Joaquin Phoenix playing the like older bear, and then you have, I forget the name of the kid, but I think he's on like one of those sitcom shows. He's a little black kid with like glasses, but anyways, so the moment when he finds out that like his new best friend that he kind of sees it as like a mentor, kind of like a father figure, was the one that actually killed his mom. And then you have
Jeremy Suarez from the Bernie Mac show.
Yeah, from the Bernie Mac show.
And freaking Rick Moranis.
It was Rick Moranis' last movie before he retired. Yeah. It was a voiceover movie. Yeah, it's the last movie before he retired, at least for now. Yeah,
I'm gonna see if it actually loaded. I don't think the graphic actually loaded because I had a GIF of it, kind of him acting sad and like starting to like tell the story. Where he's like, Kenai, I got to tell you the story, and it's not a happy one. Like there's a very sad, tragic story that I did something terrible that I feel absolutely ashamed of. And then you have this whole entire song from Phil Collins that just like him singing about like all the things that he's done and like there's no way out of this cruel place and like all that and like it's just so sad because like in the beginning you see him as a human, so when he did it he didn't have any idea what he was doing. He was just killing it for his tribe so they could literally survive just for like the meat, for the coat, all that stuff. And then he didn't really think too much of bears or like animals as far as actual like living creatures. He just kind of thinks of it as like a means for survival. And then when he actually gets cursed and becomes a bear, and then that the whole scene, it just like wrecks me every single time. Like if you watch like you can find the whole sequence on YouTube, but like it's just like his world's coming to an end, and it's like this whole tragic like just thing, and it's just so sad. Like the look on his face, and then like he just runs off into the forest and stuff. That's after like the movie, like so happy, like it just totally happy, like you're on cloud 9 the whole time, and then this scene happened, and you're like, oh my gosh, like that actually happened, and yeah, that's really sad. So yeah, that's my number 3, Brother Bear. So,
Chris,
but I contend that it's the saddest Disney movie ever made. I'll just say that, sadder than Bambi, sadder than some of those other ones. I think it's the saddest.
So I'm going to go with the movie The Patriot with Mel Gibson.
Yeah,
especially when he sees his son killed. Oh my God, that movie, that part just destroys me. Sadder than the average bear.
Yeah.
And talk about one of the most satisfying like revenge parts when Mel Gibson stabs that bastard with the flag. It's one of the most satisfying parts in a movie. Just like, finally got that revenge against him. God, is it Christopher? Yeah, it is Christopher Isaacs. No, I'm a dork. What's his first name? He played in.
Jason Isaacs. Yeah.
Yeah, Jason Isaacs says I'm horrible at naming names of actors, as you know very well.
Who's in? Who's in Armageddon briefly?
Yeah. One of my favorite actors, but he plays such a good villain too. God, so good.
Yeah. That's solid pick. Yeah. Austin, what's your number 3?
So my number 3, I think, is one that Jacob was talking about, more of like the happy, sad kind of mixed cry, like but inspirational cry kind of a thing. Because the ending of Cool Runnings that gets me every time.
Oh yeah,
because it's the perfect. Again, it's just a perfect combination of after they've dumped the sled, obviously, and you dead, man? No, I'm not dead. And just it's the camera cut to them holding up the sled, and you kick on, and you forget it's Hans Zimmer, but Hans Zimmer does that score, and it's like the dun 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 dun, and as they're like walking. Oh my god, it's devastating, dude! But in the best way. Like, it just gives you the craziest like chills. Goosebumps, and then everybody starts doing it's so cliche, but like the slow clap. But I don't care; it's a great scene, and slow clap, and they start cheering, as they're going across and all that. Like, just the whole thing is great. Like, the whole sequence is amazing. Like, it's
I gotta do the slow clap.
Yeah, again, a perfect combination of the shot, the photography of it, the score by Hans Zimmer, and just like the way it swells. It's really, really great. So yeah, Cool Runnings, the ending of it is great.
Yeah, that's like I mean, in my top 5 greatest sports movies ever made. It's really solid.
Yeah.
So it's up there. Yeah, but and then also in the chat, Chris, Jason Isaacs, he was Lucius Malfoy also.
Yes.
From Harry Potter. Yeah. But Jacob, what's your number 3?
My number 3 is Schindler's List.
Okay, so now we can talk about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I don't think you have to, though. It's like that.
Pretty self-explanatory. Well, there's several moments in that movie. Yeah, several key moments. Yeah.
It's such a hard watch, but I think it's like an important watch too. Like, just not only for the historical aspect, but like it's honestly, like, in my opinion, one of the best movies ever made from like an objective standpoint.
Yeah, no, I think objectively it's one of the greatest movies of all time.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
I think this is Liam Neeson's best performance, hands down. Like, I just love everything about this movie. It's one of my favorites. Like, even though I don't rewatch it a lot, man, is it a great movie? And the emotion hits you.
No, and when Liam Neeson at the end is doing the whole thing about how he could have gotten one more, like, I could have sold off this car and gotten one more. I could have sold this and I didn't need this. I could have gotten 2 more for this. And they're all just like, and then Ben Kingsley's like, generations will live because of you. Like, because of you, like, people will have children and grandchildren and great grandchildren. Like, and it's just like, it kills you every time. Like, it's totally.
Yeah, like, I went back and I watched a couple of scenes from the movie before this, just because, like, I'm not going to rewatch the entire thing because one, it's kind of long, and 2, it's hard to watch. But yeah, there's another scene though, like, where he's making all the hinges, and he asks him to make him a hinge, and he goes out, makes him a hinge, and like the Nazi guy's there, like, he makes it so fast, it's like David Strathairn, I think, but like, he makes it so fast, but then he sees the pilot, and he's like, you make that so fast, but then like, all day long you have this wimpy little pile here, so he takes him out, and I think he shoots him or something.
No, he tries to shoot him, but the gun keeps jamming, so he actually lives. And he's the guy you see at the end of the movie that makes him he presents him with the ring that they made for him.
Oh yeah.
And during the when they're doing the prayers and stuff like that, because the whole thing is a misunderstanding, because he said the machine wasn't working, they were calibrating the machine, so they had him shoveling coal in the morning, so he doesn't like listen to the explanation. He just assumes that he wasn't making hinges that fast, and he tries to shoot him, and the whole thing, it's horrible, because he's just like sitting there like cowering, just like waiting to die, and he keeps like trying to shoot him, and he's like recocking the gun and trying to shoot him, recocking the gun, and like he can't use it, and like it just doesn't work, and he just like tells them to like bug off basically, and then he's the guy who comes back around at the end and presents him with the ring that they all made for him.
It's another powerful scene. So but that's a solid pick. So so we'll go to my number 2, which might be a movie maybe none of you guys have even heard of. Maybe, I don't know, you might have, but like, so like, Austin, you talk about listen to the podcast about like religious movies that are kind of bad or like whatever. So this one might be one of them, but I don't think that it's really bad. I think it's pretty good, but it really makes me cry. This is a movie called Charlie, and this movie, it's about this. So it's a love story about this couple, and like there's this guy who's like a really strict Mormon guy that's like a really goody two shoes, follow every rule right to the letter of the law. He meets this girl, and like she's like a rebel, totally like not the type of girl he would pick or ever end up with. But then she ends up taking an interest in him, and then like it's not really like a real preachy movie. Everything in the movie just kind of happens naturally. Like so she ends up getting baptized and she ends up converting it to the church. But then like it kind of goes the other way. So like she becomes really strong in the church, and like he loses his faith because she ends up getting cancer in the movie. So the whole time, like you're just fighting it. Like,
I don't mean to laugh, but they do a thing called God Off Movie Bingo, and it's someone in the movie gets cancer, someone in the movie is losing all their money, someone in the movie. It's all these boxes you check for all these religious movies. It's all the same things in every religious movie. Somebody coughs, it means they have cancer and they're gonna die.
But it's like so sad because it's like he has so much faith. He's putting all his faith into God, but then like he's not delivering for him, and like she keeps getting sicker and sicker, and they give her all these blessings and stuff. And then like there's a really sad scene where like they have a kid together, and the kid's like 1 years old, just like crawling around, and then I just see her like she's just like sick and like pretty close to dying. She's like, just please say mommy, please just say mommy. I want to hear it one more time. And it's just like, oh, it just wrecks you with the little baby. And then like you see what the husband's going through and like slowly losing his faith because like he's just trying everything that he possibly can to stay strong. And like it's kind of one of those things that like why do bad things happen to good people kind of thing? Because like he just lives like a really good, like just righteous, like you see him like helping his neighbor out with her trash, like the old lady, and like just doing good deeds for people. But then this thing happens to him and his wife, and it's just the whole journey that they go through. It's like one of the saddest just like things, and like even the way that it ends after she dies, because spoiler alert, she does die, but she but well, you kind of know that, like they kind of like allude to it anyways. You kind of know that it's gonna happen, but it's like there's some things that they kind of does to remember her, and like the way that he does it are also pretty sad too. So, but
well, Jordan, maybe they'll review it in September for Mormon Movie Month.
Yeah, right. Well, they should, because like
every September on God Awful Movies they do 4 Mormon movies for Mormon Movie Month.
How do you know this? Do you?
Because I listen to the podcast. It's my podcast. I subscribe to it. I've heard it since podcast 1. Since then, they're 350 episodes in. I listen to it every week.
The home teacher.
They did. I've
never heard of that.
They did. I Can Only Imagine on the podcast. That's why I saw it.
Nice.
So I
think that's genuinely a decent movie.
They admitted it's not like a horrible movie, but they still make fun of it like a lot. Like you can still make fun of it, but like there's some genuinely awful movies they do on there. Like because most religious movies are actually pretty bad. They're very bad.
Oh, it's dropped out.
Oh, you were frozen.
Pez is still frozen. You guys are all frozen.
That's all you. It's you. You're frozen for us.
You froze, Chris. I didn't see Pez freeze. I saw you freeze. Yeah, you're still freezing.
So you guys were frozen forever, and now we're back.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah, I don't know. Well,
it
must be
someone. It was on you because you were frozen for us.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. You're frozen for all of us.
Anyways,
but
that's funny.
Well, you're back now.
All of you
you're back now, so you can get your number 2.
Yes, and give me number 2. It is Charlotte's Web.
The old
man,
one?
I forgot about Charlotte.
Yes, the original animated Charlotte's Web.
Charlotte,
Superman's famous pig.
That's how he says it. When Charlotte dies, he goes, Charlotte.
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
Am I not dead on?
Yeah.
What was the voice casting for? Like, we gotta find somebody going through puberty.
Basically, yes.
Charlotte. Yeah, we need whoever the actor that like plays the puberty kid from the Simpsons.
And there's like and when he says it, there's like a zoom in on his face, like a fast zoom in, and it goes, Charlotte.
Nice.
Yes, I'm a dork. That movie is
I just know because
unconventional number one, by the way.
No, I just know that because it's not on my list, but I watched that movie like a whole bunch as a kid. I think we had it at our church's library or something, so I rented it a lot.
Oh yeah,
so I saw it a lot. So
I remember seeing Charlotte's Web like way too many times as a kid. Like it was devastating.
Yeah,
every time. Like thanks.
It's burned into my brain.
Thanks, Mom and Dad.
It's the only time I've ever seen someone get upset about spiders leaving.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like.
Yes.
You are a strange pig.
Yo, and all the baby spiders.
No, Jacob, he's some pig.
Yeah, he's some pig.
What? Zuckerman's famous pig or something.
Yeah.
And I like that the pig was the more. I like that the pig was the more interesting thing, and not, hey, let's find this spider that can spell.
Yeah, that can spell out messages. Like, their focus is on the pig. Oh, he's some pig. No, how about that spider that speaks English and that can transcribe words?
Yeah, right.
Oh, yeah, that's right. He did transcribe words.
It did. He writes. Charlotte writes some pig and whatever the other words. Like, there's like 3 or 4 of them, and all these people come to see it, and like pay to come see it. And it's like it's not about, hey, there's that spider that can speak English and communicate with us through its webbing. It's like, no, there's a pig. There's a pig that can do cartwheels. That's more.
What? Ooh.
Yeah.
I didn't know
that. But also too, or the neo-Nazi.
That's right. Yeah. The Illinois Nazi guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. It's a solid pick though. Like I totally forgot about Charlotte's Web. So
1973, man. Yeah, the old one. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but. Well, Austin, what's your number 2?
All right. So my number 2 is a more traditional one. It's the ending of 12 Years a Slave. Yeah, it kills me. I know Jacob already kind of mentioned it as like a honorable mention, but it's basically the bit where he. The whole movie's devastating, obviously, but like the bit where he finally makes it back to his family, and his kid is growing up with the kid, and he finds out he's basically a grandfather, and he like missed everything, and he goes like, "I'm so sorry," and they're like, "You have nothing to apologize for." It's like, oh, that's the worst. Oh, that's horrible, and it killed me. So it's really crazy.
It's that, and also when Lupita Nyong'o is getting,
oh my god, she's getting destroyed with the whip. Yeah, no, it's
the whip.
Well, it's more so when they're like. They're trying to treat her like afterwards, like trying to dab her wounds, and she's just sobbing like uncontrollably, like she just can't stop, and like she does it all night. It's awful.
And that was her first role, wasn't it?
One of her first ones. Yeah, it was pretty early.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. What a powerful first role. Yeah.
Yeah. It's something. So I'd have to check that, but it's one of her earliest ones for sure. That's definitely.
Yeah, like it's one of those movies that's like kind of hard to watch too. Like maybe not as hard as a Schindler's List, but it's not easy to watch.
Yeah, she does 12 Years a Slave right into the Liam Neeson movie Nonstop.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
Great follow-up.
I love Nonstop.
And then The Force Awakens. So there you go. Yeah.
But it's another movie where like Michael Fassbender, when he comes out, man, he's just a vicious bastard in that. Yeah. Oh, man.
But it's one of his best performances though, because he's so like believable. He's like so cruel. Like he's such a great villain in that movie.
I kind of forgot Fassbender was the villain in that. God, he's so.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, people talk about him as Magneto, but like him in 12 Years a Slave is almost on the same level. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, but Jacob, what's your number 2?
My number 2 is Finding Neverland.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Especially like the later moments in the movie, like when they bring the play to her house because she's dying and she can't get around as well, and like that, like and just seeing Peter's love for her mom and. Even his mom, sorry, and his dad. Even his dad, like we don't see his dad. We know that he's passed and he's gone. And man, I can't imagine losing one parent, but losing 2, and like, and then Johnny Depp as a Jamberry stepping in. I think it has fun aspects to it, with all like the imagination stuff, like, and that's where he gets the inspiration to write Peter Pan. But like those emotional moments in the end, and then their conversation on the bench, like man, it hits me. It's another one that I've seen probably like a dozen times, and the emotion is still there every single time. Like I love this movie. I go back and forth on which performance I like.
I'll be right back, guys. Hold on.
Yeah.
I go back and forth on which performance I like more from Johnny Depp between this and Sweeney Todd, but like it's neck and neck with like the best of his career. I think he just is incredible. And then Freddie Highmore also, like one of his younger roles.
That's Freddie.
Yeah,
that's Freddie Highmore, because like what he goes on to do with The Good Doctor too, man, he's good. Yeah. And
just seeing Kate Winslet's face, like when they bring the play to her house, like, man, like, yeah, lots of emotion in like the final 20-25 minutes or whatever it is. Like, it hits me. It's one of my favorites for a reason.
Yeah, and it's a good metaphor, like when they show her going off to Neverland and stuff too, like all that stuff. Yeah, it's good stuff. But cool. Well, I guess we'll get to our number ones. We can see if Chris makes it back in time. But for my number one, it's a movie that's so sad that I've never been able to finish the movie. That it's that sad. I'm just like, nope, I can't do it. So, it's this movie called My Sister's Keeper. It's a movie that has I'm on a brain for Cameron Diaz. Yeah. For some reason I want to say Drew Barrymore. I don't know why, but it's Cameron Diaz, and she's this mother who her first daughter has a really rare blood disorder, and I think I actually have a little graphic for it. Let me see. Yeah, so it's just here. So there's Abigail Breslin in it too, and then her first daughter that she has this rare blood disorder, and so she needs some bone marrow donated to her. So they have a second daughter for the sole purpose of just so she can donate all of her bone marrows. And like for anyone who knows anything about a bone marrow transfusion, like it's very painful. It's very like it's one of the most painful things, and like the mom thinks that like she brought Abigail Breslin into the world, so like as long as she's a minor, like she can make her do whatever she wants to do, and like she's gonna pretty much force her to like donate parts of her body to help save her younger sister. And then over time, it just gets to be so hard on her that like she can't do it anymore. Like she doesn't want to do it, and so it just causes a huge rift between her and her mom and her sister. And like she wants to be there for her sister, she wants to save her sister's life, but it's just so hard on her. And then eventually she I think that's by the time that she's like 12, 13 years old, she actually takes her mom to court for to try and become emancipated. And it's like some kind of like a medical exemption that she's able to do it. And they have a whole court trial, which I haven't even seen all the court trial because I've never finished the movie. It's just so sad. Just one scene after the next of them crying and like just like yelling at each other. Why don't you do this for your sister? I don't want to. It's killing me, mom. And like man, it's just like so sad that I was just like, nope, I can't do it. Sorry, like I'm done. So yeah, I've never finished it. I don't know if there's anyone else out there that's seen this movie all the way through, but man, it is just like I've never like wanted to cry so much in my entire life that I just had to just end it. I'm like, no, I'm done. But yeah, My Sister's Keeper. So
then just to address something in the chat real quick, Brian said the Mr. Banks sequence. Yes, Austin.
So that was my number 11, Brian.
Oh yeah,
of the Mr. Banks walking to the bank to get fired. Yeah, that whole sequence was my number 11. I mentioned that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, but that's my number one. And Chris, what's your number one?
So This is probably not going to surprise anybody to watch this movie. But you just talked about that movie, and it reminded me of, seriously, I literally just had the movie like right there on the top of my mind. But one of the movies I was thinking about actually was a Sweet November with Keanu Reeves and Charlize Theron. The movie is so damn sad. Like, but it's kind of funny. Like, I looked it up, and literally, like, one of the whole, like, if you look it up, it's like worst rom-com movies ever made. Like,
well, it's
meanwhile,
funny.
it's one of my favorite movies ever made.
It has a 6.7 on IMDb, which is pretty high, like fairly high. And then, like, you look over at the, you know how IMDb has that, but then it has the Metascore next to it. It's in the red at like a 27. It's weird.
I don't know, but that movie's always resonated with me. Like
very high with the fans and the critics.
Like falling in love with somebody and kind of not being sure, you know. So it kind of explores that. But my number one is My Girl.
Ooh, yeah.
Ugh.
It's a solid pick.
This movie, I remember seeing it. I don't remember exactly when it came out, but the relationship between the two of them is just awesome. You know, that childlike joy of meeting someone and kind of like liking them, you know, and then God, when she dies, absolutely destroys me because she's allergic to bees. And you hope on some level that she's gonna be alive. And then when he comes out, and it's not so, it just destroys me. I remember watching that movie probably way too many times as a kid. But such a good movie and so incredibly sad. It had to be my number one for sure. Because like it kind of digs back to like the movies that I remember, like movies that really touched me kind of the most as a kid. Like that had to be it. Yeah, a little unconventional, but yeah.
It could have borderline been maybe when animals attack video because bees, maybe. But
yes, yes.
But yeah, the bees. But yeah, solid pick. Austin, what's your number one?
My number one is when we punted. It's Toy Story 3. And I had complete confirmation of this a few weeks ago when Henry and I were ranking the Toy Story franchise, and we were including Lightyear. And I told the story of like I didn't necessarily need to rewatch it to like rank it, but it was like the day of when we were going to. When we were going to shoot that night. And so I was like, you know what, I'll rewatch it throughout the day. So I rewatched it a little bit in the morning. I went to work and I was like finishing like the last half an hour at work out on my break in the car. Like I go out to my car on break. So I'm watching it and like I was just so afraid somebody was going to walk by me as I'm ugly crying during the last like 10 minutes of that movie.
Yes.
Like, and it's not so much. And it's funny. People say like the incinerator scene, but that never really got to me because I never really thought they were going to die because I always knew like somehow they'll get out of this. Like it wasn't that because I was like, they'll get out of it. So I was like, okay. It's not so much that it's when Andy pulls up to the house and he's like saying goodbye basically to the toys by like introducing them to the girl and like, and sort of like describing all of them. And then he gets to Woody and he's like, he's the best friend I've ever had. He'll always be there for you, you know, if you're there for him. And like, it's just, and he plays with he has one last like playtime, like with all the toys and like, it's the worst. Like that whole sequence, it's the way that whole sequence is filmed and edited and shot better than like 90% of movies today. Like it just like, and you never think that like when I saw it in the theater, you would never think that this silly movie about these toys just like running around like coming to life. You would have that connection. And then you watch this movie and they get to that sequence and you're like, holy shit. Like, oh my God. Like this is the worst. So it's the worst, but it's also a beautiful scene. It's the same thing Jacob said. It's like a happy, sad cry.
Right.
Like,
it is.
You know, because they're gonna live on with this new, you know, girl who's gonna take care of them and all this and they're gonna like continue to go. And it's almost like it's not only Andy saying goodbye to saying goodbye to Woody. It's Woody saying goodbye to Andy as well and letting him go, because the whole thing is about Woody and Andy, and it's about him letting Andy go. So like it's a double thing. It's great.
It is.
Yeah, the first movie got me when you see him fall from the stairs.
Oh right, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think all three of them have their moments, but yeah.
And I love Toy Story 4.
That last scene.
Yeah, because the second one has the Sarah McLachlan sequence.
Yeah, the Jesse sequence.
Like the Jesse sequence of the.
I almost linked those two together too.
That one's devastating too.
Yeah, I'm surprised no one brought it up.
Well, I mean, it's up. I mean, it's like within the realm of Toy Story, but I just went with the third one. But that sequence is rough too. Like it's really, really rough.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's like you think you're gonna have the saddest scene when they're in the furnace and they're all holding hands, but then wait till the end and it's even like more sad. It's kind of
because that to me that sequence is when they're actually saying goodbye, but they're saying goodbye to Andy. You know what I mean? It's a whole different thing.
Right.
So like I get the incinerator thing. If some people gets it, that's fine. That's not what got me. It's the sequence after that when he's actually parting ways with them. Like it kills me every time. It's horrible. Yeah. So it's still. I confirmed that as a 36-year-old man, it still got to me in the car on my break at work. So it had to be my number one because that's like just what it does to me. So
can't believe a movie about toys.
About toys.
Yes.
Toys.
Yeah, and I'm probably odd man out, but I loved what Toy Story 4 did to sort of like tie the bow on for those movies.
Yeah. Like just missing that,
but it's just missing that oomph for me. Like
that
top. I just feel like Toy Story 4 is more like an epilogue. Like I thought it should have just ended with 3, and like I was cool with them doing these short films, like kind of checking in on them, like when they were doing these shorts, like Toy Story of Terror and like that dinosaur sequence, and like some of the ones that were attaching to movies, and it's like, oh, here's a little 10-minute, 15-minute adventure. Let's see what they got. Just some of the adventures they're having. Cool. I'm totally cool with that. But it wasn't like a full movie. And then they did the fourth one. It's like the movie's fine. It's just I rewatched it again for that, and it's like, it just feels like an epilogue. It feels kind of unnecessary to me.
I can kind of see that.
It's just me. Like if people like it, I get it. Like I totally get it, and I don't hold anything against. Like if you got something out of it more than me, that's awesome. I did. It just didn't work for me as much.
No, I get it. 100%.
It's funny that you mentioned it, like the epilogue reasoning, because I think that's the reason I like it as much as I do. It's like, all right, well, it's fun to see. All right, well, what's Woody up to now? Because 3 was a great end to Andy's story, and now 4 I think is just a great end to Woody's story.
Right.
And so that's kind of the reason I liked it as much, is because now Woody's got
maybe we'll talk about it in our Patreon exclusive episode coming up where we rank the Pixar movies.
Might be pretty high. You never know.
And we'll talk about that and see where we all rank that movie.
Well, let me tell you my number one then, so we can. My number one shouldn't be a surprise to anyone. My number one is The Lion King. Not only for the movie itself, but just for the memories that it brings up. I've mentioned this every time I've talked about this movie, is that this was a movie that I watched at my grandma's before I went to school. My grandma passed away in the year 2000. She's been gone for 22 years, but like every time I watch this movie, not only does the Mufasa scene get me, but just the memories that it brings up of my grandma, me and her, watching this movie. And then, of course, that brings up the other memories of me and her. We watched baseball together. And like when my grandpa passed in 95, like I had to move in with her to help take care of her because she couldn't live alone, even though I was a 5-year-old. Like, what am I going to do? Like, no, you need to cook me breakfast and dinner, but I'm here to help take care of you. My entire family, we ended up moving in with her. And we lived in that house after she passed for about 6 more years before my parents separated. And but The Lion King, like it brings up just the good memories. So it's not a sad cry. It's just when the memories of my grandma come up, like I loved my grandma. I was a grandma's boy.
It's what I like to call a personal connection cry.
Right.
It's a movie that brings 100%. Up something personal from your life and a connection, and brings up personal memories or good memories from your life. Like, you just have that connection to it. I connect this movie with my grandmother. You know what I mean? Like, like you could, everybody has those movies where you connect with a family member. It's the first time you saw it with them, or it's a movie that y'all shared together. Yeah, whatever. It's a personal connection movie. Yeah. That's totally fair. Yeah, definitely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And
I mentioned this in our group chat that I had trouble making this list, but my number one was clear from the moment I heard the topic. Like number one was set in stone, but Man, the rest of this list was tough, but number one.
Yeah, number one was set in stone for me, basically too.
Yeah.
And then kind of like at one point I had Jurassic Park Dominion on here, like that kind of got pushed off there.
Really?
Yeah.
That movie made me cry for other reasons.
No, it made me cry because it was a great movie, and I know that not Man Out Here, but I freaking love that movie, and the movie did everything right, and it was sad, and it was amazing.
So I'm not the only one, but but I will say though that
it got pushed off there because of Finding Forrester.
Well,
listen to you guys.
I will say though that I don't think there's a single other movie from a Disney movie that, or I mean, a single other song from a Disney movie that gives me the chills more than The Circle of Life too. That's like one of my hands down, one of the best Disney songs of all time. Like I'll just crank that song up when I listen to it. Like it just gives me all the feels.
What was your number one again, Chris? I'm sorry, I'm blanking again already.
My Girl.
My Girl. Okay, I'm sorry. I know it's My Something. Yeah, I was like, okay, yeah, I got you. That's not really an unoriginal pick, I don't think. It's a lot of when you look up movies that make you cry, like My Girl pops up. Yeah, he needs his glasses.
My number one was almost the Eddie Guerrero tribute episode of Raw, but then I realized we were doing movies.
Right. I have that on a bootleg I got from a convention.
That's cool.
Such a good episode of Raw.
All right, so
Austin, if we ever do retro shows of like old episodes of Raw for Lonely Marks, like that's got to be one of them.
So I tell you what we can do, Jordan. We can do a top 11.
Okay.
I'll tell you why. We can do the ones that had crossovers either between the list or the list and honorable mentions. And then I say we all do everybody's number one, which my number one was a crossover. So we can do that plus everybody's number one. What do you think for 11?
Yes.
Sure,
so
yeah.
We'll say in no particular order.
Okay. Sounds good.
No.
But do you already have it kind of like already kind of played it? Okay, because I was going to say I could throw it up on the screen, but if you already have it kind of with all the crossovers and everyone's number one, then that's good. Go for it.
Well, no. So, I mean, I'll just say, so the ones we had crossovers of, we said The Land Before Time had some crossover. So Land Before Time. Coco, I think, had enough crossover and enough mentions. Up, especially the first 10 minutes, obviously. Inside Out had a lot of crossover. Me and Jacob crossed over 12 Years a Slave, both in mine and the honorable mentions. Toy Story 3, which was obviously my number one, Jacob's number 5. Logan got a few mentions, so that would be on the list. Schindler's List. And then I'll just go with the other 3, just number ones, Lion King, My Sister's Keeper, and My Girl. Fair enough?
I like it.
Yeah. Sounds good.
We'll call it at that. So everybody fair to everybody's number one, and then some of the crossovers.
Yeah.
There you go.
That sounds good.
So check those out if you want a good cry.
Yeah.
If you want to feel some dust in your eyeballs.
Yeah, if you want the room to get a little like you just cutting onions or something, you know. What I mean?
Exactly. I don't know what happened.
I don't know what happened. Somebody's putting onions in the kitchen. What's going on?
Exactly. What is this stuff going on?
It's weird because I live alone.
Yeah, I know. Who's cutting onions? Who's having an onion sandwich in the theater and cutting onions? What's going on here?
Come on now. Men don't cry.
Yeah, someone just had an onion parfait like on SpongeBob, one of those like where it has horrible breath. But yeah, well, cool. Yeah, I think we'll call it good for this episode. So yeah, and I'm not 100% sure what we're going to be doing on the next episode, but I want to try to make it a weekly thing. We'll see. Like I'm not going to guarantee anything yet, but if we can find out a day each week that works good for your schedule, Chris, we'll make it a weekly thing, or at least an every other week thing.
So my days are split off. Like I have Sunday randomly and Tuesday off.
Okay. Well, it might be a little tough because that's when we do both our tier ranker and our tournament fight. Maybe you can hop on one of those episodes with us.
Yeah,
you'll be able to join us for that. but we'll figure something out though. Yeah, and I had a little note that I can't find here, but like when I do find it, I'll make some announcements. But I had some ideas for some more a top 10 list or top 12 that would work a little better as a top 12 list. So when I find that, then we can kind of talk about and discuss what'll work best, and we'll let you know. So that's why it's always good to be a subscriber and to hit the little bell so you can know when we go live, and also follow us on our social media, Movie Hero 2121, and on the Schwinn on Friends and Family group. I'll just promote those now because
Maybe I'll take the top 11 that we did tonight and put them in a little impromptu poll tomorrow in the Shimoda Friends and Family group. And see if you guys agree if those movies making you cry and what movies make you cry in the comments.
Yeah.
So,
you can let us
talk about it.
Let us know
in the comments. Let us
let us know.
Yeah, for sure. But we'll just go around the horn. If you have anything you want to plug, tell us where we can find you. So we'll start with Chris. Where can we find you?
Well, so this is gonna be a little bit. I think I've talked about it before, but I'm getting a little more active on TikTok, and I'm trying to grow this thing. Like I kind of feel like a dork. Like so Travis and I are gonna be singing 50 songs. I'm gonna be doing my Fly Me to the Moon by Frank Sinatra, which anyone that knows me, that's going to be my first song that I'm literally memorizing and I'm going to sing.
Cool.
Yeah. He's going to sing the song from 1917, Wayfaring Stranger, which I was very late to that.
1917.
Like, I used to shit on that movie so much. And you guys were like, it's the greatest movie ever made. And I think I told you, like, I finally watched that movie and I was literally blown away. Movie's so damn good from beginning to end. But my username on there is Casablanca Kid 84 for TikTok. We do a lot of fun skits. We do all kinds of fun stuff on there. Yeah. I'm also on Twitter as well, which I think we have at a writer _84. And Instagram cscott1128.
Yeah, and I was saying to you earlier off air, but if you ever want to throw up any of those movie reviews that you do,
yes.
So up on the channel,
I just gotta get with you and figure out just filming probably a pretty simple intro, like something like just like Chris reviews, and it's me holding a remote and maybe just turning on the TV because I just need to get on that. Yeah. Because I kept in my mind, I wanted to make it a complicated intro, but I realized it doesn't have to be.
No, you do something simple. For my snack here, I literally just do a little bumper thing that just
and I
shows
realized
the logo for a second. And,
Chris reviews could literally be like me talking about movie I've watched, TV show I've watched. Because I watched Chucky.
Yeah.
I did a review of that on
you definitely watch way more TV than us. You could be like our TV liaison.
Yeah.
I could.
Right?
Absolutely.
The second season of Chucky, they said a trailer for it. I'm not sure when that dropped. If
it is coming out in October.
Yeah. Okay.
Along with the new Halloween movie. Cannot freaking wait for that. Oh my god.
Yeah. So just get with me, and I'll just give you the login, and you can just, start putting some videos up. But yeah. Cool. Well, Austin, where can we find you?
I'll let Jacob plug The Lonely Marks since we'll be doing that tomorrow, so I'll let him run that down. But I'll be on there. Me and Henry, we're gonna get caught up probably this weekend or our next couple of days on our ranking shows. We're just a little behind because of some personal scheduling. But the next two will be a crossover review of Terminator versus RoboCop, which will be a lot of fun. Tell all 10 movies in one ranking, and then sort of a up and coming horror thriller director three-way ranking. It's the first time we've done a three-way of Jordan Peele, Robert Eggers, and Ari Aster movies. So all 8 of those.
Oh, that's tough.
So all the stuff that includes, Nope, obviously all the Jordan Peele stuff, Midsommar, Hereditary, The Witch, Northman, Lighthouse, all that stuff. So so that'll be an interesting show.
Movies can be very divisive, some of them. Yeah.
It could be all over the place because some of those movies are divisive, so we'll see where they come down and where we come down because we don't always match. We did have our very first episode where we matched all of our movies rank for rank. Our first time we matched on the Back to the Future Bill and Ted show. We had an exact match. It's the first time it's ever happened. But that's another reason to tune in is we hardly ever have an exact match. We're all over the place with our stuff.
Yeah.
So there you
go. Cool. Well, Jacob, where can we find you?
Austin mentioned it. The Lonely Marks will be going tomorrow, a little later because Jordan Owens scheduled a picks and list at 10 p.m. So we'll be going at 11 p.m. And that's just miscommunication issues on my end. I forgot to mention something to him, so that's on my end. But we will be going a little later. It's going to be a little bit of a longer episode because we're doing a supersized SummerSlam episode, talking about our fantasy SummerSlam cards. talking about our SummerSlam predictions for the event on Saturday, and then doing a retro review of SummerSlam 2002, which after we record our Pixar episode, I will be watching because I haven't rewatched it yet.
I'm off tomorrow, so I'm going to watch it tomorrow and have it completely fresh in my brain. Although I started it tonight because one of the matches is on my fantasy list. I won't say which one.
One of them is on my. There were like 4.
There's like 4 matches that you could potentially put on there. They're all really good. That's a great SummerSlam from what I remember.
Yeah.
So,
which is why I'm glad we chose a good one.
Yes. No, it'll be a good one. So yeah, we're gonna review a good one from literally 20 years ago. And then but we got news to talk about: Vince McMahon's retirement, Triple H taking over creative, all kinds of stuff we got to talk about.
Yeah, there's a lot. And then there was a Ring of Honor pay-per-view that just happened where
they announced where WrestleMania 40 is going to be held, so that's a big deal. Like, there's all kinds of stuff to talk about. So yeah.
So it's going to be a little bit of a longer, but we'll probably tweak the way we do our fantasy cards a little bit instead of going match by match. We'll probably go card by card and just
give 10 minutes to each person to just run down their card.
Yeah.
So Mm-hmm.
So, it's going to be a long episode, but it's going to be a fun episode. And then hopefully this weekend, sometime if our schedules allow it, Austin and I will be doing a podcast about
Jacob does his little board game nights, so he's got to do
that. Which I haven't been to in a couple weeks because 2 weeks ago I was helping with we do an STP bike ride in Washington, and our church was hosting people and they needed someone to stay overnight with them. Because apparently they just don't want 75 strangers staying in the church alone.
Oh yeah.
And then last week I was visiting my aunt who was over from the east side of the state, who unfortunately just she says she's a fighter, but it's that it may have been the last time I saw her.
Yeah.
So that was important for me to do. So.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely, yeah.
When we do our show, it's going to be about director blind spots. So
yes.
we'll be doing each running down 5 directors we picked to fill in some blind spots, ones that we're either getting into or fans of or trying to get into. In Jacob's case, one of them we'll be talking about The Fly. That's on his list for Cronenberg, so we'll be talking about that. Right up there. And right. So if it's not Saturday, it might be like Monday or something. We'll figure something out. I mean, whatever. We'll figure out a night to do it. And we'll do that. It'll be fun.
Yeah. I already plugged some of our stuff. I mean, you can find us on Facebook on the Showdown Friends and Family, on Twitter and Instagram at Movie Hero 2121, and then on some of my stuff, if you go to Jordan 83616, you can find some stuff there. But and then I'll just give just a little quick key. So there is a snack hero up that's been like 3 of the worst snacks I've ever tried, and watch me gag on some stuff that it's like really nasty stuff. And then with some stuff that I thought that I was gonna like and I did not. But and then I already mentioned the Patreon. I just put it down on the bottom. If you go to patreon.com/moviehero, you can join, and there's a lot of cool stuff. Just go over to it, and you can see all the different things that we offer over there. Or if you want to support us, you can just join for that reason. But and then I'll give just a few of our upcoming episodes. I'll do more of a preview when we actually do tournament fights in Tier Ranker. But just a couple that we have coming up. So this Sunday will be a fun one for me because it'll be my top 128 part 2. So we're talking about some of my favorite movies coming up. And then also have the best wrestlers in movies. So that'll kind of coincide.
That'll be Jordan featuring The Rock. It'll be Jordan featuring all the Lonely Marks podcasts.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. I'll be the one casual fan. So
but they're movies. We'll just, you'll be talking about the movies, and when they come up, we'll explain which wrestler is in the movie or wrestlers are in the movie.
Yeah,
where they play.
Yeah, in the title, you should put "Presented by the Lonely Marks."
Presented by the Lonely Marks.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Like sponsored by the Lonely Marks. Yeah. But yeah.
Then you need like a Lonely Marks.
Yeah. But yeah. it'll pretty much be like an all wrestling weekend for me because I am going to try to watch as much of SummerSlam as I can, and I'm going to watch some of these wrestlers in movies, so it'll be fun though. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to it.
And speaking of SummerSlam, this is why I like that we're not doing predictions until the day before because
they drop a match.
Rollins
they cancel the match. Exactly. See, it always happens. Yeah, WWE always does something or something happens where it screws up our predictions. So yeah, we're literally doing. Hopefully, we're doing predictions. 24 hours before SummerSlam? Hopefully, nothing happens.
Yeah, after SmackDown is already over.
Yeah, in case they change anything again.
Yeah. So, Chris, if you want to join us for Best Wrestlers in movies, I know you're not a wrestling fan, but we got a.
I like wrestling, actually, guys. I love
extra
wrestling.
spot. Yeah. We got an extra spot. We're just like literally.
What day are we doing Best Wrestling weekend?
Tuesday. About all the movies. Yeah, it'll be Tuesday. So yeah.
It's cool. We have a list. We can send it to you after the show if you want me to. But it's best. We should say a caveat: best wrestlers in movies other than Dwayne Johnson.
Well, I've seen a lot of legit movies. Like in some of these wrestlers are freaking amazing.
Because we're probably going to do a versus episode with The Rock versus Jason Statham. Probably.
Yeah.
Because The Rock has like 40 movies, and the comparable one right now to him is like Jason Statham as far as acting guys. So we might do that, and then do
so who does Hobbs and Shaw count for?
That's what I mean. Hey, it's like when we do De Niro Pacino, and they've got a couple now that we cross over together. So whose movie is it? Exactly.
Yeah, right. Well, I would have you on my favorite movies part 2, but we got a couple of extra guests that are coming on. Moose and cousin Ryan, so we're all full there. But you can come on the wrestlers one for sure.
And I figure you're full on tonight's Pixar episode, obviously.
Yeah. Yep, we'll be doing that. But and then also just a couple of other episodes that we have coming up. We're going to be doing best action movies from 2000 to 2004. So like there may not be just tons and tons of incredible action movies from the 2000s, but this is solid top 10 for sure. But there's a lot of them, so we did have to split it up. So we're going to talk about it, and we'll see what comes out on top. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then we also have. We're doing best talk shows of all time. So it can be daytime talk shows. It can be late night ones. We're going to talk about all the best ones to do it. So, yeah, that's another episode that we have.
Two Ferns, number 1.
Yeah, it's on the list.
Nice.
It's
on the list. Yeah.
Comedic ones like that and Eric Andre, they count. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, even we have like Space Ghost, Coast to Coast.
We have Ali G because he did like celebrity interviews. Ali G show. Yeah. They're all on the list.
But yeah, that'll do it for us tonight for this episode of Podcast League Now. So we're gonna try and bring it to you weekly, but just keep up with our social medias, and you'll find out when we're gonna be doing it because we'll post everything there.
Maybe. So. I don't know if I could do a show every night of the week. I'm gonna get burned out really
fast. Yeah. Oh yeah.
For weeks and weeks and weeks. I do literally almost a show every night.
Now.
It's getting
Well, we're gonna kind of switch out people. If you need to take a night off, we'll kind of go like do it without you sometimes. I mean,
that's fine.
Like we'll make it work for everyone. So but yeah, that'll do it for us. So for Chris, for Austin, for Jacob, I've been Jordan the Movie Hero Anderson, and if I can find where the outro is, we will see you next time.